The views expressed on the previous programs are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and do not reflect those of the Beasley.
Now, what do you say to a guy who wishes another guy Happy Valentine's Day?
You fairy.
Yeah, I think that fits in. A little bit.
Yay.
Best talent. This is Sports Radio 560.
Notice how I got my voice back today. Wow.
It's amazing.
Didn't have it amazing.
Drink something
I
hot.
sat down here 8:15. I couldn't talk or squawk. I went like that. Must be that good tea.
You go back to Canada, you Jew bastard.
All right. Is dedicated to the crazy astronaut Lisa Nowak, who got in the bind and lost her mind. She left her apartment in Houston, looking for the woman who took command. Her brain turned to putty. Lisa pulled a nutty, totally obsessed with pulling off her plan. Rolling in a Lincoln, the interior was thinking. She was driving in a diaper. She was driving in a diaper. Looking to end his special friend in her defense. She went wee-wee, went pee-pee, and maybe even did a duty. Her eyes were wild and buggy.
Oh my God.
Talking to herself with all the windows down. Completely neurotic, borderline psychotic. Piling on the makeup like a circus clown. Rolling in a Lincoln. Wonder if she'd been drinking. She was driving in a diaper. She was driving in a diaper.
All right.
Looking to end his special friend in her defense. She went wee-wee, went pee-pee, and maybe even did a duty.
Oh my.
Maybe even did a duty.
Oh my God.
Beating down the floor of the turnpike, weaving in and out like she was in a race. Colleen did not expect her to pull a Hannibal Lecter or to have a stranger spray her face with mace. Rolling in a Lincoln, what the hell was she thinking? She was driving in a diaper. She was driving in a diaper. Looking to end his special friend in her defense. She went wee-wee, went pee-pee, and maybe even did a duty.
If she had just had a comforter in the car with her, everything would have been okay.
That's right.
And you notice, I hate to bring this up and point it out, and I'm sure a lot of people have already realized it, but these two gigantic stories, Much Ado About Nothing, Anna Nicole and the crazed astronaut,
Yeah.
that's ASS dash, both Florida stories.
That's right.
How do you like that? All the bizarre, all the crap, all the sludge, all the neurotic, whether it's
That's right.
Alianito, whether it's the hanging Chad, whether it's, you name it. And we got it. That's the Florida effing way, baby. That's just the way it works. Yeah, I think I got my voice back just in time for Woodbine Wednesday. And in spite of the fact we got 2-3 inches of snow out there, they're doing a really good job. The snow has stopped here. And they're plowing up a storm. It'll be just fine for Woodbine at 2 o'clock. I'll go out there and plunge my guts out. Doesn't that sound good?
Sounds great.
And it shouldn't be like real mobbed out there either. I should be able to find me a good machine man. Maybe we'll have my friends out there praying for me today. Let's pray to Abraham today. Couldn't be bad. Here's the poll from yesterday. This, and again, I apologize profusely, but you got to understand when you're under the weather. And thanks to Charles B. Wow, Charlie B. started my day out on a high note this morning by faxing in about 7,000 great polls. Well, that's what we need. How you be, Charlie B? Don't you think that's a great thing? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it is.
Even you.
Saves
Because
me
you
a
know
couple.
as well. And I have some bad news, though. We have 1,192 MySpace friends. Yesterday we had 1,193. I'm trying to get to 1,200, but it just come to a halt. And we actually lost one. And I haven't taken the time to check out. It may be Johnny G, because I gave him a little shot the other day about how... What? Well, he's very emotional.
Yeah, I know he is.
I mean, I'm emotional. That's the understatement of the century on that thing. But he is a basket case. And all I got to do is, fart the wrong flavor in his direction. And poor Johnny G, oh, gee, Neil's picking on me again. Like that. I can relate. That's the way I am. I'm a basket case. But I've overcome that. Everything is fine. 1,192 MySpace friends. We'd like to get to 1,200 by the end of the year would be good. And not that it really makes any difference. Here's the poll from yesterday, 1,383. That's not bad for a really crappy poll. You know, the voice thing isn't going to last very long. And I did drink some more of that comfort, what is it? Constant comfort.
Okay.
What,
I had a
you
line.
forgot?
No, I had a line, but I decided not to use it.
Yeah, don't. When in doubt, leave it out. What do you think Neil wears while doing his daily show? Now, I will say this. No, I am wearing a T-shirt today because it's you know, I could make it as hot in here like a sauna if I wanted to. I don't like using the regular building heat because, like I told you, the heat in the wintertime dries out your sinuses and it makes you just really, makes me sick as hell. So what I do, we have baseboard heating in my building, and also I got like, it's just fine. But I do have the T-shirt and briefs. That is not the correct answer, though. Today it would be 360 briefs and T-shirt. I gave them the right answer, and they're still too stupid to figure it out. I mean, this should tell you all you need to know about Florida. Oh boy, garter belt and stockings, 130. I'm going out shopping for those this weekend after the snow subsides. After I win enough money to buy a new wardrobe at Woodbine today. Garter belt and stockings, not just regular stockings, but the ones that come up to like your crack, you know.
Sure.
What do they call those?
Fishnets, I hope.
Yeah, that would be good. Only boxers, that's the correct answer, almost every day, 122. And I told you all day yesterday that was the right answer. And still only 8.8% of the audience, even when I told them the right answer, they still, no, we know better than you do. Everybody knows better than I do. You know, that was the whole thing my whole life with my mother. She knew better, no matter what it was. Same with George. Everybody I know knows better than I do.
That's right.
Well, good. I'm happy for you. His bathrobe, 110. Don't have one here, but I'm wearing it. These people. I hate this poll, 108. Not too bad, 7.8%. Shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, 106. That sounds really gay. Adult diapers, 82. That may start after that episode a couple days ago. Tom Brady football jersey, 76. Brown corduroys and a plaid shirt, 62. How about a white sport coat and a pink carnation? What do you say?
Marty Robbins.
Yeah, you don't have it still, do you?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You were 4 hours
I was working on it, but nevertheless.
My throat is starting to get sore again. I better start taking that Robitussin again. Because the phlegm has mostly subsided, but if your throat is a little irritated when you have a cold and then you start talking for 4 hours, this would have been a really good day to take off the day.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Velour sweatsuit, 51. Nada, nothing, El Nudo, 43. That is the most disgusting thought. If I was, even though you can't see, I would be so embarrassed just from the psychological impact if the audience knew I was sitting here naked as a jaybird. It just, oh, man, all that flab and fat. And 43 people said nothing. Nightgown, 41. I thought you said nightgown was for, like, gay ladies. Well, they get it. They're trying to say...
You fairy.
Only a jock, 32. I still say jocks are very uncomfortable. I don't know why you tell me a jock strap is comfortable.
You must have had the wrong size.
Yeah. No comment. I'm not touching that. Or the comment.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. I could tell you about Jim Park. I told you that story. I can't tell that on the air. That was...
What do you mean you can't? You already did.
No, I did not tell you that story.
Yes, you did.
On the air?
Yes, you did. It was so moving. Coca Bryan wrote a song about it.
It was moving, as a matter of fact.
That's
Okay,
what you
enough
said.
with that. That was in high school. I think he was a senior. I was a junior.
Told the story in
grab my
vivid
junior,
detail.
honey.
Yeah.
Anyway, boy, he was sure something else. Tan slacks and a navy blade. See, the bad part about that is that was back when he would have been 18, and that's 59. So that's 41 or 48 years ago. God. So 48 and 17, he'd be 18. He'd be 66 now. He's older than I am.
Yeah.
So I bet you don't look that good anymore, Jim Park. That goes to show you, if you wait long enough, if you're jealous of how some people look, just wait. When they get to be 60, 70 years old, they don't look so good anymore. Of course, I don't either, but I never did. Tan slacks, navy blazer, 25. Lime green pants, pantaloonies, 15. That's the Florida outfit, man. That's the uniform, especially like in Cemetery Village and Winmore, places like that. You got to have your lime green pants.
Oh, yeah.
Tuxedo, 12, right. 3-piece suit, 6. And a nightshirt, only 2. Now, can you explain to me again the difference between a nightgown and a nightshirt?
Nightgown is for women, a nightshirt is for men.
Well, I've only got 2 that say that I'm a man, and I got 29 that say I'm a woman. Well, how do you like that?
You fairy.
That doesn't bother me. Oh, no. Oh. This story you just sent from East Meadow, New York.
A couple good ones.
I don't know how much reading I can do here today. I don't have a lot of voice.
Well, read it to yourself.
Okay. Wow. A 13-year-old boy who sodomized another boy with a drumstick in their school locker room, and he bent over to pull up his pants. Oh, no.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Shazam!
Was arrested yesterday on assault charges, police said.
I hope so.
Assault. While the victim reached over to pull up his shorts. Oh, this is in the locker room. I thought maybe he was just out in the hallway or something. Another student poked him in the, oh no,
rectum
with a wooden drumstick. Nassau County Police spokesman Detective Sergeant Anthony Repolone said.
I guess that
that
was a rim shot.
Drumstick. Yeah, no kidding. Repolone said the February 6th attack on a 13-year-old middle school student caused the victim substantial pain. He kind of went like,
oh my God.
Right. The accused teenager, whose name was not released by police, was being charged as a juvenile, was to appear in family court. He would have faced felony charges had he been at least 16 years old, police said. I didn't know that it was a felony to attack somebody in the rear with a wooden drumstick, but I guess it
now
is.
you know.
East Meadow, New York.
So
I have no idea where that is.
Stop.
Must be, I don't know. That sound like New York-y, like Long Island somewhere? I have no idea. School officials said that they learned about the incident from students today after the attack in the East Meadow School District. The school notified parents of the victim, who took him to receive medical attention, and notified the police. How do you like that? Wow. Attacked in the
rectum
with a wooden drumstick. Well, that's something he can write in his resume anyway. I bet you not too many 13-year-old guys ever were attacked with a wooden drumstick.
No, I can't
especially
say.
in the
rectum
locker room. 772 votes on today's poll. We'll get 1,000 easy. This is a no-brainer today. And certainly heads and shoulders, as they say in the shampoo business, above yesterday's marginal poll. Which Democrat would you like to see nominated in 2008? 772 votes. Barack Obama is kicking big, fat, serious ass, 237. No, it's really pretty close. Al Gore was ahead when I first put this up last night. Al Gore, 194. He's only like 643 votes behind. Then that's amazing because he's not even running, alleged.
Yeah.
Barack's got 237. He is the man. Trust me when I tell you. He is the great... not White Hope, but the great mixed, whatever he is, Great Hope.
Mocha latte.
There you go. Al Gore, 194. Swillery's only got 85. John Edwards, 65. Whoever, 50. In other words, I'm a Republican, 50. Well, nobody's perfect. All we can say to you is, Bill Richardson, 35. I hate this poll, 23. Joe Biden, 19. And Howard Dean, which I omitted, and my bad. George said this morning, how come Howie Dean is not on there? I said, because I'm stupid. And he's got 14 for Howie Dean. Who's a good old bean. I think he'd be good, but he wouldn't have a Chinaman's chance in hell winning the election. Oh, let's check. Oh, nice and dark, man. Nice and dark. As dark green, I think you call it like chartreuse.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil, God.
Now, Inside Edition.
The death of Anna Nicole Smith has left some messy and very complicated legal battles. You know what, honestly, I don't know where to start. This paternity issue is getting crazy.
We now have someone else stepping up saying, I could be the father.
Hell, Gore, you and Anna Nicole.
I've been there and done that.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
How many times?
Over and over again. It's too difficult to count them.
Where was your favorite place to have sex?
In the end.
Where?
Behind.
No, what geographical location?
In a Winnebago with her poodle.
Pinky. I heard you can get into the upside-down atomic wedgie position.
It's not a new position for me.
Wow, you're a freak.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh. Hell, put that thing away.
Oh.
Inside Edition. We'll be right back.
10:18 at 560 WQM. It's Eddie K this afternoon at 2. How do you like that? Wow. Eddie K right in the middle of the daytime when people are walking around and awake. Eddie K for the Mad Dog at 2 o'clock. Power Hour with Hank and Eddie K from 4 to 5. No Mad Dog today. Hank solo 5 to 7. Then we got Panther preview. Panther shut out Canadiens, les Habitants, the Frogs last night, 1-0. Eddie the Beagle finally got it together. Panthers at Ottawa tonight, 7:30 with Geldy and Red Deer Randy, silly ass. And that's what we got going today. Speaking of Al Gore, and there's a story coming up. I'll get it for you in a second, but as soon as it ever pops up. Let me see if it popped up. No, it didn't pop up, and the story either. Narrowing fast. There's a new U.S. poll. See, they're ripping me off today. It's not just Paul and Old Ron. Mm-hmm. By the way, they tried to put a thing on our MySpace page, Paul and Old Ron. Whoever's over there at Big, stuff it where the moon don't shine, okay? Get out of my face about Johnny Depp being on with them over there. Who cares what they're doing, you know what? Every single thing. I talk about Johnny Depp being out with me on Zeta 100 years ago, and right away, oh, Paul's got Johnny Depp on it. Great. Good luck to you. Now that he's old and, whatever. Doesn't he just make you want to puke?
A little bit.
Castronova, he just annoys the hell out of me. Narrowing fast, it says Hillary holds just an 8% lead over Obama, new national U.S. poll, and Al Gore's at 26% without even running yet. Now, that's kind of interesting because that's showing kind of like right along with what we're doing over here, as his voice cracks. 807 on the poll. Barack Obama, 246. Al Gore, 200. In fact, what did it say? Gore had 26% nationwide, 24.7% on our poll. How do you like that?
Amazing.
I beg your pardon?
Sorry, I'm having a quaggle myself here, too.
Well, we're choked up about it.
Apparently.
Hillary's only got 91. John Edwards, 67. I'm a Republican, 53. Well, let me say it again. Nobody's perfect. Whoever, 51. They just don't care. Bill Richardson, 36. I hit this poll, 24. Joe Biden, 24. And Howard Dean, 15. Old Bean, out of 807. Got 1,000 looked easy. And the good news is that you guys got a little charhat today. Not too much, just a little bit.
A ration.
You know, next time Duff comes in, they remind me to just rip him an ass. Well, it wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure. Speaking of Al Gore, rumors continue to swirl about whether or not former Vice President Al Gore will enter the race for the presidency in 2008. According to an essay today in the New York Observer, Gore wants to keep the buzz going about whether or not he'll enter the Democrats' crowded fray because delaying a decision helps him if he runs for president. Steve Kornacki writes today that according to the latest rumors, the rumor mill, the buzz,
right.
Gore will consider entering the race for Democratic nomination in September if an opening presents itself. An opening?
Rectum.
The former vice president's spokesperson issued a classic denial about Gore's plans. And I sound pretty good today. I don't understand why, because when I woke up, man, I couldn't.
Right.
I must have had like a lump of the deep green phlegm, like right in my vocal cords.
Well, it worked out.
I thought, oh, no way today.
Cough drops and tea.
I don't have any cough drops. I should get me some Hall's Mentholyptus. But I do have that comfort. It tastes like old, like musty stuff.
What, the constant comment?
Yeah. It tastes like musty, like mothballs.
Oh.
Something out of an old, stale, mildewy closet.
Yeah,
anyway, can I get back to this, please? The former vice president's spokesperson issued a classic denial about Gore's plans, and Kornacki says there are multiple reasons for Gore to hold off on entering the race. First, he can bank on his name and reputation getting stronger in the intervening months as he continues to promote his message on controlling global warming. Meanwhile, Kornacki writes, he can steer clear of any early skirmishes between Swillery, Barack Obama, and John Edwards, instead allowing the three frontrunners to drive each other's negatives up. In other words, he can kind of like stand off to the side while they rip each other's ass to shreds, while they tear each other's kishkis out, as they say in China. The moment Gore is looking for, he adds, is one in which the race becomes about Hillary. The likely scenario for Gore to become a candidate is one in which he is convinced that he could quickly and bloodlessly push Obama and Edwards aside, setting up a Hillary versus Al contest for the nomination. But there also are reasons Gore might not choose to enter the race. If Obama or Edwards makes gains against Clinton, Kornacki writes that he may not want to further crowd the fray. He must also fear the risk of being branded for all of history a two-time loser. That would be bad. A two-time.
I could have got my claim in the works right away, and I was actually able to enjoy my Thanksgiving.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, and cranberry sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Real service.
Now we're cooking. But Kornacki concludes Gore has wanted to be president most of his life and wonders, can he resist? That's from the New York Observer, which is a very strange-looking newspaper. It's got some good articles in it, but it's kind of strange. Kind of like an off, I don't know what kind of color, like pink. Pink, light brown, like maybe the dog done something on it. I don't know. You ever see the New York Observer?
Not lately.
Well, you better be more observant.
I avoid the newspapers.
Judge rules Anna Nicole Smith's body must remain with the medical examiner. Just in.
Over the body of Anna Nicole Smith, Susan.
By the way, have you seen that guy?
That is what it boils down to, Tony, doesn't it?
Have I seen who?
The medical examiner here in town. He's something to see.
Broward.
There's our good friend Susan Candiotti. Candiotti. Love you, Susan.
By stay put. For the moment,
a lot of people I love. They don't love me, but I love them.
County Medical Examiner's
That's okay.
office, while the dispute over a paternity test goes on. You'll recall that this paternity test matter was brought up by one of Anna Nicole Smith's ex-boyfriends, Larry Burkhead, and his lawyers this day got a judge in an emergency hearing in his chambers with none of the other parties represented.
What was that, in Maryland Chambers?
Hearing, to hear their request for him to order an injunction to keep the body at the medical examiner's office. The reason they wanted that done is that it's been the contention of
wow,
Larry
she looks good there, I'll tell you that.
She
he
has
wants to
had her
maintain the
moments.
integrity, as he puts it,
but
of any
those things
DNA
look so
testing
fake. I mean,
they are
done
so
on
fake.
her
They are fake,
remains.
but we don't care.
I know
They
that,
want
but
her
I
to
mean,
be
talk
buried,
about really
for example,
fake.
before this matter could
She
be settled.
we've got something embedded in a watermelon patch.
Will remain at the medical examiner's office. Now, this also means that it is okay for the body to be embalmed until that time.
Yeah, I heard she was
this matter
bound.
will take some time to settle. There was a concern expressed by the medical examiner yesterday in a signed affidavit, him saying that the
damn near
body
naked
of
in that picture
Anna
there.
Nicole
Take a
Smith,
peep at
frankly,
that.
is decomposing, as gruesome as that may sound. And
it's decomposing. Listen, how about if we get James Brown and Anna Nicole and lay them side by each, and we can Eddie K can give the morning line odds and who's going to decompose first. I guess he would. He's been dead a little longer.
As a service and the like, that she should be embalmed sooner than later.
Okay.
So that can happen.
So, Susan, just to sort of be clear about this,
let's
Anna
be clear about it,
Nicole
Susan.
Smith's body can't be buried yet until there is some kind of final determination.
Until it smells so bad they just can't take it no more. I think that's the determining factor, isn't it? When it smells so bad that nobody can even... Remember in Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
Now, what was that stuff that they were inhaling because the stench of death was so bad?
I don't know. I thought it was Vicks or something like that.
Oh, man, you are sick. That Vicks is good stuff, though. I started talking about that yesterday, and then you sidetracked me.
No, it was Chris that did that.
Chris sidetracked me because he doesn't know from Vicks. He was talking about mustard plasters and sticking it on your chest on the Vicks, too, you know.
A hot poultice.
Yeah, hot poultice. Whatever the hell that means. No, actually, the Vicks does wonders. I put it under my on my neck.
Yeah.
Under my chin, under my neck, and right by my vocal cords, you know, like... And then also under my nose, under my schnoz, and my upper
lip. You know it.
It's a good way to keep a stiff upper lip. 827 votes on the poll. Al Gore is, he's still only 43 behind Barack Obama, and he's not even running. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any comparison. I think, although, I think Gore could win easy. I still think Barack Obama can win because he's got the charisma, he's got the personality, he's got it, man. He is a rock star. He is a young, living and breathing, dynamic human being. That's what we need. As opposed to all these doddering old fools like those of us here on QAM. That's what Joel Feinberg said.
The biggest names,
doddering
best
old.
talent. This
Sorry,
is
Joel.
Neil Rogers,
We got the numbers
Sports
here.
Radio 560 QAM.
Names just the way I like them.
Goodbye, Anna Nicole, fat pasty hoe now. They'll need a shoehorn to wedge you inside a piano case to lower your fat ass in the ground. Guess you can't spend that money now, but you sure die trying. Say, how's that white trash diet that was gonna get you back to lean with whiskey and amphetamine? And I'm really surprised that you knew how to die, because you were that dumb. You accomplished nothing, and yet became a media superstar. I would have asked you to break a 20, but can't no more. And now the corporate media has something other to pitch, outside a crazy pamper-wearing astronaut bitch.
Man, he is just too good to be true, you know.
Yes, he is.
Old chicken neck, old Baldy. We love you, Baldy. You're okay in our book. A little on the weird side, but that's why we like you. Just like Jim Schuyler said, a schlepper like Boca Brian has got better equipment than him. I'm just smitten with it. I don't know what it is about that.
But
what is that called? I want to be like, I
want to be like Jim Schuyler? I want to be Jim Schuyler?
Yeah, that's it. This just, I don't know what it is.
When I grow up, I want to be just like Jim Schuyler with a $30 keyboard to you.
About 30, man.
I wouldn't need to buy a fancy DAT or a computer. A microphone and tape deck will do. Even a schlepper like Boca Brian has better equipment, but even so. Oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like Jim Schuyler, then I wouldn't have to spend my dough. Here comes my solo, I wouldn't have to spend my dough. I think that sounds just fine.
Oh, we're fine.
1033, he's a crazy guy, too. See, the crazy people are the ones we like the best because they do the best work.
That's right.
Sherwood Ross writes, but my voice is completely back. This is a miracle.
Great.
It's a miracle. I think I'm going to have a big day at Woodbine today, Mon.
You just had some fuzz in there.
Well, the article says, America, if you won't impeach this tyrant, who will you impeach? It's long, by the way. I don't think will I get through all of this?
You can do it in stages.
Staging? He plays for the Leafs. Leafs, by the way, lost in the shootout last night, and the Panthers beat Montreal. Just for you hockey fan out there. We have any hockey fans?
No.
Oh, sorry. We got the Panthers and the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa tonight. Any interest at all?
No.
I knew you wouldn't. Oh, I see the Dolphins are raising ticket prices again. And you do know why, Chris, because of the excellent product they're putting on the field.
Well, we got to have money for the new coach.
And because we keep, the Dolphins keep making the playoffs every year, and they won all these Super Bowls, and et cetera and so on. Anyway, Sherwood Ross, right? What's that?
Oh, that's right. Coach.
Oh. If you, my fellow Americans, will not demand the impeachment of the worst president in American history, a man who is a traitor to our Constitution, an instigator of unjust wars, a destroyer of worlds, a strutting global tyrant, and a threat to the very survival of human life on this planet, who will you impeach? This George W. Bush, this wastrel, this smirking twister of truth, this volcano of lies, this heinous torturer, this killer of innocence, this thief of Baghdad, this mass murderer, this open sewer of aggressive militarism, in short, this blot on the very name of America, must be compelled by Congress and the American people to answer for his alleged and apparent crimes. What does he really think? He and every culpable member of his cabal must be impeached and made to stand trial before the Senate for the genocide of Iraq and countless other criminal acts. One of the least of his crimes, ordering wiretaps without court order in violation of the 78 Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, entitles him to a 5-year incarceration at Leavenworth for trampling the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable search and seizure. His most heinous crime, the war of aggression upon Iraq, violates the UN Charter and other covenants to which the U.S. is a signatory, a war when unleashed then UN Secretary General Kofi Annan denounced as illegal. Surely Americans who are too timid to sign a petition for impeachment might well consider there are 650,000 Iraqis who, had they lived, could have written their signatures in their own blood. Far from being the war of self-defense, it was claimed the war on Iraq is a crime of aggression since exposed as a mechanism for stealing Iraq's oil wealth, and a war that's brought about the destruction and dismemberment of an innocent nation. In October 2005, an Ipsos Public Affairs poll found 50% of the public agreed with the statement, if President Bush didn't tell the truth about his reasons for going to war with Iraq, Congress should consider holding him accountable by impeaching him. A year later, a Newsweek poll found a majority favored impeachment. Now, as new evidence comes to light each day documenting how Bush and his aides lied to this nation into a criminal war of aggression, yes, just as Hitler lied when he invaded Poland, just as Stalin lied when he invaded Finland, just as Mussolini lied when he invaded Ethiopia, just as Japan lied when it invaded China, the numbers of Americans who want George W. Bush impeached is swelling by the millions. Passively favoring impeachment, though, is not the same as actively demanding it of the Congress. At the Constitutional Convention, Ben Franklin insisted on the inclusion of the impeachment provision in the name of fairness to give the President an opportunity to defend against charges of high crimes and misdemeanors. Otherwise, Franklin said, the only way to remove an errant president would be to assassinate him. Today, Americans have more urgent reason to remove King George Bush II from office than the colonists had for overthrowing King George III and founding this nation. King George III's crimes against the colonists were nothing compared to the damage this self-made King George Bush II has visited upon America and Americans and upon the Middle East. Even though he's not a king, George W. Bush conducts himself as one, for he has arrogated to himself sweeping kingly powers. Power seized in secret, power stolen in the dead of night without debate, powers aggrandized with the compliance of a lied-to Congress. Better take a drink. Powers to arrest any citizen, fling the individual in jail, and throwing away the key. Powers to listen in on any private conversation. Powers to order the Pentagon spying on anti-war protesters and the clergy. Powers to enter any home and search and seize without a warrant. Powers to read without a court order any citizen's mail and internet communications. Powers to invade our library records and our medical records and our financial papers. See, I told you it wouldn't last.
Damn.
Oh, it's bad. Huh?
I said, damn.
Oh, well, it's still dripping, man, you know? It's dripping. I better do the break, and then when I come back, I'll... Because it's not that long, but it's long enough. And the story, too. 23 to 11 at QAM, where we're dying over here.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
My junior, honey.
Don't like all the heartburn. Dum, dum, dum. Every time I see dum, 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 dum. That retarded dimwit dum, dum, dum. On my TV. Oh, he's President Dumb. Republicans muscled in, an inarticulate idiot. I don't know why they would want this guy, but now he's here. We're screwed the next 4 years with President Dumb. Oh, what I'd give to count votes once more and get who we all voted for. Lips drumming, stupid me. Mindless, drunk, and rich kid. He's even dumber than me. He's President Dumb. You don't care what it took. You got him in by hook or crook. The Christian right knows what's best for you and I, but have no fear. Got a great leader here with President Dumb. President Dumb.
Goes to show you, man, when you think you got your voice back, when you got all that nasal drip and all that nasty dark green mung just dripping down into your throat and your vocal cords. That's not easy, but I'll struggle along. I'm struggling. And I got the story about that nationwide poll, by the way. Swillery ain't exactly kicking ass. Maybe her own.
No.
Sherwood Ross, by the way, who wrote this thing that I'm reading, he's an American reporter, worked for major American newspapers, magazines, as well as international wire services. Just for those who are getting real picky. Well, who the hell wrote this crap? Anyway, it goes on. Even though he is not a king, George W. Bush conducts himself as one, for he has arrogated to himself sweeping kingly powers, power seized in secret, power stolen in the dead of night without debate, powers aggrandized with the compliance of a lied to Congress, powers to arrest any citizen, fling the individual in jail, and throw away the key, powers to listen in on any private conversation, powers to order Pentagon spying on anti-war protesters and the clergy, powers to enter any home and search and seize without a warrant, powers to read without a court order any citizen's mail and internet communications, powers to invade our library records and our medical records and our financial papers, powers to nullify the acts of Congress, powers to reach around the globe and kidnap any foreigner off any street in any country and remove him without trial to some remote dungeon for torture, powers to scrap binding treaties, powers to invade other countries with great armies on lies and pretexts, to make war upon them and to dragnet arrest their citizens, powers to tear people away from their native lands and their families, and to remove them to distant secret prisons without recourse to the most primary principles of law, without lawyers, without trials, without habeas corpus, without Red Cross visits, and to detain them forever, and there to torture them until bodily disintegration, suicide, or death. Or
all of these things.
The president must also be impeached for the mass roundup and arrest of foreigners living in the U.S., for the military incarceration of U.S. citizens, for violating the First Amendment rights of Americans, for violating the Third and Fourth Geneva Conventions, for reinstitution of the notorious COINTELPRO spy program, for violating the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, for violating Article 2 of the UN Charter by crimes against peace, for violating what the UN Committee on Torture last May declared was the ill treatment of detainees in violation of the International Convention Against Torture, for violating the Hague Regulations on Land Warfare, for violating the Nuremberg Charter banning the wanton devastation of a city or area, for violating the Genocide Convention by turning Iraq into a charnel house, for violation as Commander-in-Chief of U.S. Army Field Manual Regulation 2710 against conspiracy to commit war crimes, for usurping the power to imprison people arbitrarily for indefinite periods by making himself judge and jury, for creating illegal secret prisons by executive order, for lowering a shroud of secrecy over the operations of the U.S. government, for willful noncompliance with the Freedom of Information Act, for failure to faithfully execute the laws, including Article 6 of the Constitution, that holds U.S. treaties shall be the supreme law of the land, for resuming work on nuclear devices and reinitiating a nuclear arms race in defiance of the Nuclear Arms Treaty, for terrorizing Iran with the threat of nuclear war, for using illegal weapons against Iraq such as white phosphorus, depleted uranium ammunition, and a new type of napalm, for launching an aggressive campaign to militarize space in order to dominate the Earth, for violating the Bacteriological Warfare Covenant by engaging in germ warfare research, including the restoration of long-dead pathogens that imperil the planet, and for the creation of delivery systems for such sinister pathogens. It is for all these reasons,
all of these things,
and likely for treacheries and treasons yet undiscovered, the American people must stand up to their sacred obligation to impeach George W. Bush now.
Absolutely.
If the American people will not do it for themselves, in the name of their sons and daughters being slain in this Holocaust, we are morally obliged to do so in the name of the people of Iraq, upon whom the sadist in the White House has hurled down a hellish rain of brimstone. For if we do not impeach this tyrant, we'll deserve the low esteem that is now the veritable universal opinion about America. If we do not impeach, we'll go on living as oppressed subjects, unworthy of the name citizens, people whose federal government has turned us into a nation of patsies, stooges, victims, sheep, and dupes, people who make no outcry when our blood, our treasure, our time, our precious liberties, and even our dreams for a world of peace are stolen from us by this menace to humanity, this George W. Bush, the most dangerous and despicable human being ever to occupy public office in America. But what does he really think? Sure, nice article, sure. You go, baby. Kick ass. Now, getting back to that poll, I can't do this for 4 hours, I'll tell you that.
Sure you can.
You're a crazy person.
Well,
like that. You be a crazy. Anyway, Senator Clinton holds slim lead over Obama in new poll. Gore at 26%, but he's not even running. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
The Al Gore factor. Well, he did win in 2000. You know, he should be the president. That's something to say. Huh?
Lockbox.
Are you trying to say that Big Al is boring?
Yeah, but that's beside the point.
Senator Hillary Clinton holds an 8% lead over Barack Obama among Democratic candidates in the latest Harris Interactive poll just out today, just in time for Valentine's Day. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to all you ladies out there and all you pansies. Guys don't, we don't wish guys, even on this show, happy Valentine's Day, do we? That sounds so...
Yay.
Even I'm not that... well, I guess I am. What?
Nothing, you beat me to the punchline, Seth.
But, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just so fade for one guy to wish another guy a happy Valentine's Day.
Mm.
Oh, you don't think?
Yeah, I do think. I agreed with you before the show.
I mean, I wouldn't even wish Josh Cordes happy Valentine's Day.
Other than, I
love him.
In jest and shtick,
Mm. The poll conducted among nearly 3,500 adults of Democratic, Republican, Independent voters reveals that 1 in 5 U.S. adults would choose Clinton in a list of all possible candidates, with Obama second at 10% and Rudy Giuliani at 8%. The survey also indicates that 45% of respondents would first choose a Democrat for president compared to 31% who would first choose a Republican. Among Democratic candidates, Clinton and Obama topped the list with John Edwards third at 28% and former Vice President Al Gore, who hasn't even announced his intention to run, at 26%. Scary John Kerry is a distant fifth with 12%, and Drew Lieberman, oh my goodness, all I can say to that is, who is only behind Obama among Republicans choosing a Democrat. Among Republican candidates, Colin Powell, who hasn't expressed a desire to run, leads with 32%. Must be because he lied to the world in the UN when he held up that vial, one of the most vile acts, and lied through his teeth about anthrax and all that crap. Colin Powell leads with 32% among Republicans, Giuliani second at 29%, and then John McCain 26%, and Condoleezza, not Condoleezza, at 19%.
Oh, yeah, please run her.
Yeah, please run Condoleezza. I would agree with that. Second that emotion, like Smokey would say. Let's have a little Smokey Robinson, a little Motown here today for the next 2 hours and whatever.
Coming right up. But first,
3 hours.
Because it came up earlier.
There you go. Oh, Marty Robbins, I can't believe it. You the man. I cannot believe it.
I did download it. I just forgot where I put it.
I think my kneecap just exploded or
you
something.
Ever do that?
Something close to my kneecap, yes. Just in time for Valentine's Day. No, don't stop it. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I love this, and I hate country music. Marty Robbins is still dead, though, right?
Yeah. Did I tell you how I interviewed him after his death?
No.
I was at the radio station in Montana where I worked. We had these canned interviews that we had to edit our own voices into.
Oh, yeah.
The regular feature. And obviously I didn't know he was long since dead. So, it was just the next one up in line, and I cut it and aired it. And we were flooded with phone calls from old codgers going, "He's dead! He's been dead for years! How are you interviewing him, you fakers?"
Well, nobody else could do it.
I know.
Probably a real feather in your cap, as they say.
It was a psychic medium interview. I was channeling.
As they say in Ypsilanti, a real feather in your cap.
It was a boring interview, too, as you might imagine, interviewing a dead
Yankee
man.
Doodle was a dandy. Now, what does that mean?
Gay.
Yeah, I think that's what the Brits... Isn't that what the Brits would say?
Yeah.
It was a dandy. Why are you fading Marty Robbins out? I love that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I played the whole thing. It ain't that long anyway.
Columbia Records, man. I would say 1958.
It's very
57.
close. 57.
All right. Boy, am I as sharp as a matzo ball or what? I am so good. Just ask me, I'll tell you. I'm phenomenal. Not too many people agree. See, I'm getting choked up about it. That's how good I am. I'm legendary and I'm spectacular. 889 votes, so we got 1,000 look today. Okay, that's enough Marty Robbins. That is a good song. Don't you like that song?
I do.
How about Chris? Do you like that? You hate it?
Actually, it wasn't too bad.
Really?
Yeah.
See, as country music goes, it wasn't one of those depressing ones about, where's that Larry Lujak thing?
Wasn't anything about tearing his beer and his wife drove over his car.
Oh, I love this.
Here's a line from the song. It took a hell of a man to take my Ann, but it sure didn't take him long.
I like that, yeah.
She ain't much to see, but she looks good through the bottom of a glass.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one. That's a good one.
I wouldn't take you to a dogfight, even if I thought you could win. Don't cry down my back, baby. You might rust my spurs. If fingerprints showed up on skin, I wonder whose I'd find on you. Here's a good one. If you get the feeling that I don't love you, feel again. Here's one. Obviously, there's some guy singing this song, and he's in some cheap floozy's bedroom at the time. I'm ashamed to be here, but not ashamed enough to leave. That kind of sums up our situation here at WLS, too. Ashamed to be here, but not ashamed enough to leave. We'll just take the money. Thank you. I've been flushed from the bathroom of your heart.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Okay, you really wonder about guys who write lyrics like this, you know, how much drinking they've been doing. It's the bottle against the Bible and the battle for Daddy's soul. Here's one I really like. It's commode hugging time in the valley. If you want to keep the beer real cold, put it next to my ex-wife's heart. My wife ran off with my best friend, and I miss him.
And you thought the bird was hysterical, huh? Little Tommy there, it sounds like he's going to bust a gut, doesn't it?
What's he on, and does he share?
He's on something really good, obviously. You know, Larry Lujak was really great. He's got a blog he's writing now, I guess. I was reading about it somewhere, maybe Inside Radio the other day. And he was great on the air, but off the air, in fact, he once sent me... Where the hell would that have been? I got an email from him, and where the hell would he got my email address? Oh, this is years ago, long before any of this MySpace stuff. Where the hell would he got my email address? But anyway, I got, and he was over in Sarasota or somewhere, and just ripped me an ass about so-and-so told me you were a hostile, nasty son of a bitch. And I don't know what I didn't even know what that was all about. Wow. I didn't even know he knew I existed. I have no idea what it was all about. Pretty sure it was Larry Lujak. I think so. Or maybe it was somebody impersonating Larry. Maybe it was, yeah, it could have been him. You never know.
Could have been.
You're never really sure when those messages just come in from outer space. Anyway, Larry Lujak was great. WLS, I think he was on CFL for a while, too, in Chicago. And anybody who lived up north, of course, heard all those stations. Even in the morning, in upstate New York, you could hear WLS. Even in the daytime. How do you like that? Here we're on QAM, though, and if you got a good computer, you can listen to us online. If you have a radio, probably not too good. 1056 at QAM.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, my God.
This is your brain.
Oh, my God.
Any questions?
Real American a-hole.
Real American a-holes.
We salute you, Mr. Support the War in Iraq but will never volunteer guy.
Mr. Support the war in Iraq, but will never volunteer guy.
You fully endorse the war on terror, but they don't get American chopper in Baghdad. So it looks like you'll be sitting this one out.
Love to watch the tunnels now.
Your blood boils when you view the carnage on the evening news. But hey, you have season tickets on the 40-yard line. And isn't that the real American dream?
Almost made the playoffs.
Sure, your grandfather left an arm in Normandy, and Uncle Jimmy still thinks he's in Da Nang. But things are different now. They didn't have to program their iPods.
Never missed a podcast now.
The sight of Saddam Hussein's lifeless body dangling in the air gave you chills. But so does Central Air. And that's why you're staying put.
Ow!
So we salute you, Mr. Support the War in Iraq but will never volunteer guy. The yellow ribbon magnet on your hybrid, your FDNY ball cap, and your summer home. You are a real American a-hole.
Absolutely. It's 11:02 at 560. Speaking of real American a-holes.
Boyd, the position of U.S. troops.
Oh, brother. It just, I get chills. I get very upset and have a relapse every time I see him on my TV screen. Oh, brother. I wonder if City Pulse has got him on there, too, if they're carrying this.
I don't know.
hope not.
A scandal TV
hopefully
does it.
Canada can avoid, let's see.
Hamilton was hit even harder, as drivers discovered this morning when they couldn't get any traction.
How do you like that? Well, I tell you, Hamilton, Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, snow up the old, and of course upstate New York. Like I told you yesterday, all you people out there from Buffalo, Rochester, Binghamton, Syracuse, Batavia, Ithaca, all these other places who reminisce about the good old days and how wonderful it was in upstate New York. Yeah, Rochester, we had Don and Bob's. That's about it. Cobbs Hill. Had Lilacs, you know. That was pretty much it. Trying to think of something else. Vic and Irv's. Anything else good in Rochester? Not that I can recall. And the 12 Corners, of course. Earl's Barber Shop. No, it was Earl's Drugs. I don't remember what the barber shop was. Isn't it amazing how you can remember it? When I was a kid, my address, I told you this a long time ago. I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but our phone number in Rochester was Monroe 5770M.
The hell is that Monroe business?
Oh, it's M-O, as in Mo, you know. Mo for your money. Monroe 57, and you know how long ago that was?
100 years?
That was,
100 years?
About 150 years ago. Monroe 57, and the address was 123 Verena Drive in Rochester, like a block away from the 12 Corners on Monroe Avenue, Winton Road. That's for all you Rochesterians out there. By the way, Rochester sucks, okay? I hate to break the news to you. I mean, you know, I've been back a couple of times, and it was still there. You know. And then, of course, once they closed up Don and Bob's, I said, I'm not going back there. No mo. I got 909 votes on the poll. And Barack is pulling away from Al Gore, although Al's hanging in there pretty good for a guy that's not even running. I have no problem with Al Gore. I mean, he is boring.
Right. Huh? Me either.
He's okay.
It isn't supposed to be about personalities. Unfortunately, it is.
Listen, at this point in time, we need a dynamic, young, just like when Kennedy ran in 60. Mm-hmm. That's what we need. Somebody young and full of vim and vigor and whatever goes with vim and whatever. I'm telling you, a guy who's got a vision, a guy's got some balls, got a big pair. When Shakespeare, you know, everybody always talks about Cleopatra and how beautiful she was and yada yada. Well, here's an article that might, turn your whole ass around.
No, she was supposed to be an ugly beast.
Well, guess what?
What?
When Shakespeare wrote that the face of Cleopatra, the ancient queen of Egypt, beggared all description, he meant that words could not sum up her beauty.
Maybe he meant buggered.
I think that's what it was. Buggered all description. But a coin dating from 32 B.C.
Rectum.
Well, you know those Romans, man. The Romans and the Greeks, they sure had their way.
How old is this story that you're reading?
I beg your pardon?
How old is this story? I think
2 hours and 38 minutes.
I think I read it in high school.
You know, if you're going to start peeing on my parade, I'm going to throw a comforter right over your head.
Oh, no. A dry one, I hope.
Yeah. No, a wet one. One from Vegas.
A wet blanket?
A coin dating from 32 B.C. and put on display in Britain yesterday, Mr. Smarty Pants, Mr. Hotshot. Put on display in Britain yesterday shows the phrase had an unintended double meaning. It depicts the queen as no great looker with a pointed chin, thin lips, and a sharp nose. Man, you ought to see these coins. She looks nasty. Ooh-wee, man.
I think the story that I read was when the coin was discovered. They're finally putting it on display.
Can I finish the story or not? No, listen, if you keep talking, it's good for my voice.
That's
and the good thing, I'm watching they're cleaning up the roads here real good. We had, I'd say, like maybe 2-3 inches of snow for whatever it's supposed to be. Here in the GTA, for all those people who keep track of the Toronto weather. And there's your president.
I've listened to a lot of voices. People in my administration heard a lot of voices.
He's getting worse as he goes along.
Yeah.
He must be doing heavy duty. He must be doing whatever Teresa Hines Carey was doing. Anyway, getting back to Cleopatra, if we must. Boy, if she looked like that, my goodness. Her lover, Mark Antony, fares a little better on the coin's flip side. The Roman general is shown with a hook nose, bulging eyes, and a thick neck. Have you ever really wondered? I mean, I realize maybe I got too much time on my hands, which is very obvious lately, especially. Sorry about that. When you have too much time on your hands, you bug the hell out of people. And I don't mean to bug anybody, but speaking of bulging eyes. But have you ever wondered about what people really looked like back in the day? You know, I mean, not that we really have a way of knowing. We see all these statues, but that doesn't really mean very much.
Right. Not until photography. I always figured that they must have flattered them up, but then on the other hand, what might have been flattering to them might be ugly to us, so who knows? Maybe they were actually better looking.
Yeah.
So
maybe some of them ancient Romans really were hot numbers, man.
You never know.
Never know. The portraits are a long way from the famously sultry depiction of the couple by Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor in the '63 film Cleopatra. That's before Liz started going ballistic.
No, she was already starting to get fat.
Oh, she was boozing it up.
Yeah.
Disgusting
face was all bee-stung and swollen.
Fag hag.
Yeah.
The coin has gone on display at Newcastle University in northeast England on Valentine's Day after years of lying in a bank. Cleopatra, who also had an affair with legendary Roman Emperor Julius Caesar, also inspired Shakespeare to write one of his most famous lines, "Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety." Well, isn't that sweet? On Valentine's Day, no less. Happy Valentine's Day to all you ladies out there and all you queens. And you hetero guys don't want nobody wishing you... Well, I don't know. I guess if your girlfriend or wife or both wished you a happy Valentine's Day, that would be okay, wouldn't it?
Sure.
If they gave you something really special for Valentine's Day?
That's right.
Not to get too specific. Although it probably only is one thing. But Lindsay Allison Jones, the university's director of archaeological museums, said that the image of her as a great beauty is comparatively modern, dating back to medieval English poet Geoffrey Chaucer. I think I read some Chaucer, and I really wish I don't remember doing it.
There's a lot of talk in Washington about benchmarks. I agree.
Yeah, I agree, too, that you need to go. Impeach today. Worry tomorrow, but impeach today. Roman writers tell us that Cleopatra was intelligent and charismatic, and that she had a seductive voice. But tellingly, they did not mention her beauty, she said. Well, that's because she didn't have any. Can't complain about Cleopatra's beauty. She didn't have none. It's one of those perpetual myths that's been perpetuated by having people like Elizabeth Taylor playing her. It's very difficult to get that out of people's psyches. She does look as if she's forgotten to put her teeth...
Yes. I've seen that, I'm telling you.
She does look as if she's forgotten to put her teeth in. That's bad.
She looks like an old crone.
Oh, the picture on the coin... I mean, I have never seen two such gruesome... I am serious, man. She'd be looking bad. The coin itself represents 1/100th of a Roman soldier's salary and was probably minted to pay the wages of those stationed in Egypt. Wouldn't it be great if, if we had the time tunnel, with or without James Darren, could go back in time?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be one of the most wonderful things? And, of course, be able to come back, I guess. I don't know, although we've got some bad stuff going on now, thanks to him. But nevertheless, wouldn't that be great to be able to see how those... And, of course, I still wonder about in ancient times. Remember we were talking about the Brits? What was that movie?
Which one?
Movie with my boy James Franco.
Which one?
You know the one I'm talking about.
Tristan and Isolde.
Tristan and Isolde. Isolde. But anyway, in that movie, they got all that armor on and all that other stuff, and they were wearing all these layers of clothing.
Yeah.
And you wondered how they were ever, doing a quickie, back in those days. And they obviously were. There's no question about that. In fact, even in Tristan and Isolde,
I don't think they were doing
quickies. Yeah, they were pretty quick, I guess. They sure knew how to draw that sword. But at any rate, don't you ever wonder about that? They had all those layers of clothing, my God, just to...
What I wonder about is how bad did it smell? Not if it smelled, but how pungent was it? And could you...
Well, and maybe, I really don't want you to do this, but maybe the audience is wondering, what is the it that you're talking about?
All of it.
Anything you name.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there probably wasn't no body wash back then. And I'm very proud of Chris, by the way, that told us yesterday that he's doing body wash and not soap. I'm going to say it again. Anybody that's doing body wash now, doing soap now, is somebody wants to drop it. There's no question.
Yeah, I got tired of that film over your skin.
Yeah, that coating over the soap. And, of course, that mung that gets on there. Because what you're doing is you're smearing it on your body, and so whatever dirt that it's taken off of there, it's also getting on the soap. Mm-hmm. Unless you're using a washcloth, which the loofah thing is really good for the body wash. Now, you using one of those, Chris? You don't have to be too much of a... There you go. That's the way to do it. A real man uses a loofah and body wash.
People got to scrub off that old skin.
That's what
Bill O'Reilly said. Scrub off the old cells, man. Scrub all that schmutz off your body. Some body wash. You people still using the soap, especially like my mother would. I told you, always buy that ivory soap, which
floats. That might explain some things.
It floats all right, and so do I. Maybe that was what happened to me. Oh, I never did get around. Well, I told you someday I'll tell you that whole story of my childhood. It'll be kind of fun.
Not the Jim Park story.
I never told that story on the air.
You told it on the air more than once in great detail.
Well, I sure couldn't tell it now.
No, you can't.
Oh, you beat me to it by about a half a second. Boy, that's bad. He was standing there by his locker, and I'm going to tell you, you talk about old glory. I mean, I came out of that shower stall. I forget what I was going to my locker to get, something like my jock strap or whatever. And there's Jim Park. Man, he might have been the best-looking guy I've ever seen in my life. He was like, I don't want to go through it.
Went to your locker and said, look at that guy.
Yeah. No, there was only one thing that was on my mind.
My God, is that thing real?
That's kind of what I was thinking, and of course I'm sure it was, but that's about as close as I got.
Must not have been cold that day.
Oh, man. All the missed opportunities in life. Well, let me tell you, all you young whippersnappers out there, and I still don't know what the hell that means.
What's a whipper?
Don't miss the opportunities, man. If you got a shot at it, grab it. That's my suggestion to you.
Beware of exploding balls.
Now, for the Stiffwood Heterosexual Counseling Center, the Reverend Ted Haggard.
Hello, friends. You may remember hearing about me a few months ago when there were some nasty rumors involving me and a male escort. Well, it turns out I was just confused. After working with the trained professionals at the Stiffwood Heterosexual Counseling Center, I can proudly say I am 100% straight. That's right. You'd never catch the Reverend Ted Haggard sharing a Snickers bar with another man until our lips met in a kiss. Of course, if I was stranded on a desert isle with, let's say, Brad Pitt, and we had no food, and it turns out Brad was hiding a Snickers bar, and I caught him eating it, and I started gnawing on the other end, and my lips accidentally brushed Brad Pitt's lips, well, that wouldn't be gay, right? Where was I? Oh, yes. Now that I am 100% not gay, 100%... I can live a normal life, not tormented with thoughts of sweaty, shirtless young men. And I can do 100% normal stuff, like drive through my neighborhood like I am now, checking out the chicks. Hey, baby, and going out and getting lunch, because I am cured.
Welcome to Dairy Queen. Can I take your order?
Yes, I would like the foot-long hot dog with mustard and... veins?
The Stiffwood Heterosexual Counseling Center. When you need to claim your homo-no-mo.
I can't believe it. You hear the buzzer going off? Can you hear that on my microwave? Did you hear it?
I heard it a little bit.
Wow. Well, that means my hot water, my tea is ready. I sure don't want to let it get cold. So what are you going to do in the 30 seconds it's going to take for me to...
About 30, man.
Go in the kitchen and grab my... that was just bad timing, I guess. Or maybe it was good timing. Maybe we could put your president on.
Don't do that.
Or isolating you.
I'd rather hear this dead guy.
Okay. No comment.
So Chris, should I send this article to Neil about body grooming? Somebody sent me.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
You know that razor that they were talking about when we were talking about that Philips Norelco and everything that was ravely reviewed? You know, I ordered one.
That's the one that you got?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Thank you so much for whatever article you're going to send me. I heard some mumbling in the back.
Yeah.
You're not mumbling. You're not mumbling anymore. Thank God George isn't mumbling. Maybe, you know who maybe dropped off of our MySpace? Maybe, what's his name? Jerry the Ebullient guy after I ripped him an ass yesterday? I don't think Johnny G would do that.
I'm going to send you the article, but also I'm going to send you the link to the site because they have some interactive videos that you can click on.
Of what? What is it? I didn't hear what you were talking about.
How to shave the modern male.
Oh, are you starting with this again?
I'm not starting. Somebody sent me this article, and I'm going to send it to you.
Okay, whatever you say. And, of course, if it's a Mexican that does it, does that make him a Mexican hairless? That's bad. Well, if Luis Miguel is half Italian and half Mexican, which half is which? He looked pretty good once upon a time before his ass got bigger than an apartment complex. He was really great. He still is great, I'm sure, but, of course, I'm out of touch with that stuff. We don't have a whole bunch of Julios here. We got everything else. I wonder why that is. Well, I guess Julios don't like cold weather, right?
They don't?
Although there's a lot of Julios in Jersey. They got pretty crappy weather in Jersey. And Jersey sucks, so I don't know what that's all about. Union City?
Just wait. They're on the list. Toronto's on the list. We'll get there. Don't worry.
No, there are very few Julios here.
Just wait.
All my concierges here are both.
Just wait.
946 votes on the poll. Let's take a quick pew. Here it is. How to shave the modern male, in which a helpful corporate giant encourages you to please groom your, well, whatever. It just popped up there on the bottom that I have an email from Jorge Rodriguez.
See.
Which Democrat would you like to see nominated in 2008? That's our poll today. And just coincidentally with that Raw Story poll that we had before, too. What a genius I am occasionally. Not very often, though. 946 votes. Before the hour's over, we'll have 1,000. And then I can just really sit back and relax. Barack Obama, 282. He is the man. Trust me when I tell you. And, you know, the amazing part of it is that he's doing so well in the national polls because most people don't know squat about him. Am I right?
Right.
How many people really know much about him?
His middle name is Hussein!
Al Gore, 244. So it's a 38-vote lead. It's pretty close. Hillary Clinton, 104 for Swillery. I'm telling you, she's got a personality like a dead woman. She is as wooden as a totem pole. I mean, obviously, if she gets a nomination, I'm going to vote for her, but nevertheless, she's just, doesn't do it for me. John Edwards, 82. I'm a Republican, 62. Whoever, 56. Bill Richardson's 43. Joe Biden, 28. I hate this poll, 25. And Howard Dean, 22, out of 950 vote. Now, what is this thing you sent me about? I have a much more important message I have to read before yours. I am so bad, you know. I really am. I'm horrible.
Go ahead.
Well,
read your
it's
message.
You
can read your message.
I'm not going to read it on the air. Now, let me see what you sent.
I can send you. I just printed the article up. I can send it to you.
Oh, how to shave the modern? Well, why don't you send it to me? Why do you email
because it? I already told you. Because those little pictures that you see there, you can click on them and see the video demonstrations that this article is referring to.
Yeah.
Because Phillips Norelco, I'm faxing you the story right now. Phillips Norelco apparently has an online ad campaign for this particular product made specifically for the nether regions.
Yeah.
And the article explains that the little video pitches are actually kind of funny and X-rated or R-rated or something. I haven't watched them yet, though, so I can't tell you. But I'm going to.
Okay, well, I'll get to that eventually.
Right. Or not.
Whatever. 3 battle in Broward for Anna Nicole Smith's body.
Franken beans.
A 3-way battle for Anna Nicole Smith remains erupted yesterday. See, this is the important stuff. Forget about him.
Of other voices in the United States.
Yeah, forget about him. A 3-way battle for Anna Nicole Smith's remains erupted yesterday as Broward County's medical examiner warned her body was slowly decomposing in a refrigerator at his office. Sounds like something at, what's-his-name's house? Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what's his name?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Medical examiner Dr. Joshua Perper found himself in the crossfire with attorneys for Smith's lawyer companion, Howard K. Stern. Oh, that's the medical examiner you were talking about, kind of a weird dude?
Yeah, have you not seen his head?
No, I haven't seen him at all.
It's not symmetrical.
I see. Strange head, huh?
Yeah.
Howard K. Stern and Smith's mother, Virgie Arthur, both asking Perper for custody of Smith's body for burial. Everybody wants her body, and of course, when she was alive, it was pretty much the same. And most everybody got it when she was alive, from the sound of it. Like I said, human pincushion comes to mind. And attorneys for Larry Burkhead, Smith's ex-boyfriend, and one of 3 men claiming to be the father of a 5-month-old daughter, filed a motion in Broward Circuit Court to have the former Playboy Playmate's body held until at least February 20th for paternity testing, in line with a California judge's order. Perper wants to release Smith's body immediately, saying he took plenty of samples for future tests. We have 3 cards of DNA, blood vials. We have bone marrow, Perper said. Well, anybody want? Let's put it on eBay, some of Anna Nicole's bone marrow. It's kind of narrow, unlike her. Smith's daughter, body, and fortunes have been at stake ever since he died Thursday after collapsing at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood. Her death remains a mystery, with authorities still awaiting tests to determine exactly what killed her. Couldn't have been all those pills. It couldn't have been all the booze. It couldn't have been all of those things. Couldn't have been?
All of these things.
Smith's body will remain refrigerated until Purple receives a judge's order. Boy, oh boy, remaining on ice. Now, is this the stuff you sent me about, how to shave the modern male? George finally broke down a fact.
Yeah, I'm looking at the little slideshow here.
I see. Well, I don't want to slide it. Nevertheless, getting back to poor Anna Nicole. Smith's body will remain refrigerated until he receives a judge's order. Meanwhile, her body will slowly break down, he wrote in an affidavit to Stearns and Arthur's attorney. She needs to be embalmed, man. Not just bombed, but embalmed. Christ almighty. Christ,
I'm sure
what is that we got?
Halfway there. Christ-a-roni?
Christ-a-roni. No, Chrysler, whatever that is, Motors. Ron Real, the attorney who had represented Smith in the L.A. court battle over paternity, said late Tuesday he planned to go to the L.A. court Wednesday morning to ask that the hold on the body be reduced on grounds that the court had already extracted DNA. Her DNA is never going to show paternity for the baby, Rail said. Along with the paternity case, Rail is the executor of Smith's estate. He and Stern, also a co-executor, are authorized to make funeral arrangements. Rail, however, told Associated Press Television News that Smith's mother was fighting to bring her body to Texas for burial. Everybody wants her body, man. I'm afraid of what they're going to do with it. On Friday, Prince Frederick von Anhalt, a husband of Zsa Zsa Gabor, announced he may be the girl's father. And Larry King may be the father. And the son that died last, whatever it was, he may be the father. Stern is listed on the birth certificate as the child's father. A 31-second 9/11 audio tape released yesterday by Hollywood police revealed little about her death. She's not breathing. She's not responsive. A Seminole police officer tells the 9/11 dispatcher she's actually Anna Nicole Smith. If you guys could please hurry it on up, because I think she's dead. How to shave a modern male. Well, now, do I get to pick which male I'm going to shave? And
it's all about that. Sure. As a matter of fact,
certainly.
You could open
something
up,
to think about.
You could open up a barber shop.
a barber shop, yeah.
The biggest names,
Saving
the
a haircut.
best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
God?
You're a busy professional woman with your eye on the corner office. You've got it all. Nice car, nice house, plenty of money. Yet there's still something missing. You've tried online dating, singles bars, reality shows, and even blind dates set up by your mother. But you still can't find Mr. Right. Well, now you can stop looking. Microsoft introduces the Husbot. A life-size, window-based, anatomically correct, fully functional companion that simulates all husbandly duties. Your customized Husbot will arrive via ground shipping in 4 to 6 weeks, completely ready to go.
Husbot, will you take out the garbage, please?
I am watching the game.
You've been sitting in front of that television set for hours.
Shut up, bitch.
What did you say to me?
You heard me.
You don't talk to me that way.
I am the boss.
You know what? My mother was right about you, Husbot.
You are just like that banshee.
What is that supposed to mean?
Just get me a beer and some Cheetos and zip it.
Here's Husbot creator, Dr. Fritz Beckenbauer.
I was looking to create the perfect partner for the woman. Then I stumbled upon the Husbot. I made him exactly like the man.
Oh, what was that?
I farted.
You're disgusting.
Let's make whoopee.
Make whoopee? Are you kidding? You repulse me.
Come on, baby, daddy's horny.
Get away from me.
The Husbot is available in white,
hello,
black,
what's up, dog,
Hispanic,
hola,
Indian,
hello, tech support,
and albino.
Turn off the lights.
Women all over the world are getting their Husbots.
I thought being single was bad, but now I'm married and miserable. Thank you, Husbot.
That meatloaf is not going to cook itself.
Go to hell, Husbot.
At least they can cook my meatloaf.
The Husbot from Microsoft. Just as lousy as a normal guy.
Bite me.
It's 27. I'll pass on that. 27 till noon at QM. I've got a minor crisis here, and you're going to have to help me out on this, just like we were the other day about the Prague thing yesterday.
Okay, we're here for you.
Oh, man. I'm having a relapse from you today. What is your story?
Nothing. What you talking about?
must have shown up. He is really bizarre. Am I right, Chris? Is he a little bit bizarre today, more than usual?
Well, he's in a great mood today.
I did shave.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, maybe he got us something a little early.
I got a card.
Listen, I'm not going to even delve into anything having to do with your, with your whole Valentine's experience and all the ladies in your life. I mean, just, no, seriously. So anyway, my big dinner coming down there. Looks like I'm going to be going to lunch that day instead of dinner, which would be more convenient for my close personal friend. And you know me, I'm willing to oblige.
You're a very accommodating kind of guy.
I am. I mean, I'm free as a bird whenever that is, that weekend. And so I got to find a great place for lunch that maybe like, do you think Shula's is open for lunch? A steakhouse I'm talking about, someplace really good.
I think they are, but
because Morton's is
we
not
can
open
verify
for lunch.
that. Someone will verify it.
Yeah. Let's find a really good, great steakhouse that's open for lunch on a weekend.
Okay.
Just so I can get that all straightened out.
I'll see if Morton's is as well.
No, Morton's is not. I already checked that on their website. They open at 5:30 Monday through Saturday and 5 o'clock on Sunday. I already just checked that out.
Chris is researching it now.
Chris is working on it right now, so have no fear. When in doubt, we'll work it out.
Shula's was very good, the food, and at least you'll have an amusing story to tell when
about the football.
About the football, holding it, rotating it.
Will Don himself actually come and greet me if I go into Shula's? Will he come by and say?
He'll cut your steak for you.
Yeah, probably do something like that. The brainstem. Anyway, getting back to this article, How to Shave the Modern Male. Where did this come from?
Somebody emailed it to me because, we had been talking about it days hence.
In which a helpful corporate giant encourages you to please groom your crotch, it says. Oh. Who wrote this? Mark Morford. Oh, well, no wonder. In the San Francisco Gate newspaper, the SF Gate. Well, that figures. He says, I've often wondered in calmer moments of profound wisdom, unaffected by actual subtle thought or deeper intellectual concerns, why there is no sly and essential maintenance manual for the penis. Oh, brother. Are you sure I can read this article?
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm getting led down the garden.
I got the page loading.
Hi there. If you're here, you probably know that body grooming is a sensitive issue. Grooming your back, chest, demands a
at that point, pictures pop up.
That may have been difficult to attain.
Well, let me be more specific, writes Mark. Why has no Men's Magazine, not Esquire, not Maxim, and certainly not yuppie-rific GQ, dared venture, to my knowledge anyway, a single enthusiastically detailed column as to the general health and upkeep, and perhaps most importantly of all, as far as overall aesthetics and tactile friendliness are concerned, the prudent follicular trimmage of the enchanted regions surrounding the male appendage? Well, I got to read that last thing again.
What word did you say?
Of the enchanted regions surrounding the male appendage. Oh, I know it's a sensitive topic, this male maintenance thing, so to speak. It's not one many sexually confused modern men open up to easily, not something we like to dwell upon and analyze in a way women can so easily discuss menstrual flow or waxing techniques or purse design. Men in our infinite, mulish simple-mindedness tend to think about all body parts just supposed to work, and all the stuff growing on our backs and thighs and groinal regions look damn fine, as if it is no matter how tangled and shaggy and utterly extraterrestrial it might appear, and how often our lovers cringe and shudder at the sight of us naked. Besides, there's little we can do about it anyway, right? Wrong, says Mark. Wrong. For example, grooming. Queer Eye and the entire unloved metrosexual movement aside, simply shocking is the size of the male population that thinks trimming the male's body, incredible swarm of hair follicles, is silly and unnecessary and just far too feminine. In other words, kind of like that. And is only meant to be restricted to the head and face and maybe a few strays on the biceps, when in fact there's an entire universe of trimmage that could take place, and grateful indeed would be most attuned women of the world. By the way, says Mark, I think I ought to do the break early, because this is a long article you sent me about waxing and all this other stuff. Waxy buildup. How to shave the modern male without him getting away, I guess.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Bread and say cheese.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. Even a great nation like the United States has had a few sorry blots in its history. There have been wars. There have been diseases. And there was disco.
I think enough time has passed now that I can talk about it.
Mitch is the man who invented disco in his Clearwater, Florida basement back in the mid-1970s. Inside the Behind secured this interview on condition of anonymity, since a lot of people still want to kill this guy for sending real music into the toilet for half a decade.
Well, I still have the machine I made to create disco music right here. You can see when I turn the crank, it works much like a high-tech audio meat grinder. Into the top of the machine goes one of the three basic song subjects: dancing, dancing all night, and dancing like you're never going to stop. Toss in a few references to booty, and you're ready to go. Then you program in 120 beats per minute, and the final ingredient...
What is that you're dumping into the top of the machine?
Oh, that's the crap. It's easy to find. So many people don't pick up after their dogs. Occasionally, when I've had beans for dinner,
That's fine.
And before you know it, you have a top-quality disco song. Yeah! Like the platform shoes? Get down, everybody! Ow!
Sorry, you just so totally deserved that. Disco. For rock and roll fans, it was our killing fields. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business. Tonight, on Inside the Behind.
Okay, 11:43, 17. Did you do a little homework there for me, Chris, or what?
He did.
And?
It is Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 2:30. They don't have lunch on the weekends.
At Chula's.
At Chula's.
Jess.
Chula?
Jess.
Chula. Well, that's okay. I'm sure that there are a lot of fine, outstanding places available on the weekend for lunch.
I'm sure there are.
Well, we'll work. See, this will kill some more good time, like we did the first time with that. When we went through all the steakhouses and all of those things. Anyway, can I get back to shaving the modern male, please?
Okay.
I was right in the middle of a super cut. As a matter of fact, hang on one second.
Shaving your doesn't just reduce odor, make you feel more comfortable, and improve the way you look in underwear. It can create a new you in the bedroom, too. As soon as your partner sees your new... Well, pretty much anything can happen. She may want to eat frozen yogurt off of your... Take your... for a
How's
neighborhood
that?
stroll.
Anyway, can I get back to this? It says, by the way, many of the top waxing salons, especially here in San Francisco, have a great plethora of straight male clients. Well, many of whom are brought in by their wives and girlfriends. And as any worthy and attentive porn fan knows, many of the male stars are waxed and trimmed and almost shaved at it completely, all the way down and back, up and underneath, well up into God's country. Makes for more aesthetically pleasing camera shots is why. Just, FYI, it says. What a screamer. Which brings us finally, after too many meandering paragraphs, to Phillips Norelco. Oh, Phillips Norelco. A major appliance manufacturer and global leader in high-end hospital medical devices, recently venturing with seeming unchecked fearlessness into the delicate terrain of, shaving the male crotch. I'm going to tell you something. I don't care what anybody says to me. This is just this old queen's opinion. That to me sounds so
gay.
And they're telling me, the ladies like it. That's what they like.
Listen, the very first female to make fun of me when we were both making fun of Joe Costello was intern Shannon, who you knew very well. Mm-hmm. She was the first in a long line of females.
She was a sweetheart. Let me just tell the audience about intern Shannon. She was a real hot young lady.
Oh, man.
And George always gave her assignments that required her bending down on the floor, going into that cupboard, that cabinet that we got there on the floor. He always had her bending down on the floor, George. Yeah. He always would find some reason to have her going into that cabinet. So anyway, go ahead.
Look down the back of her pants.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And blouse.
She was the first in a long line of women to tell me that, A, I was wrong, and B, I was gross. So.
Well, we know that part.
Yeah.
Which brings us finally, after far too many meandering paragraphs, he says, to Phillips Norelco, a major appliance manufacturer and global leader in high-end hospital medical devices, recently venturing with seemingly unchecked fearlessness into the delicate terrain of shaving the male crotch. I just read that. Gaze, won't you, at Phillips Norelco's latest and surprisingly bold viral internet ad campaign from 2006, found on shaveeverywhere.com.
It's hysterical. You got to go there and click on some of the interactive
It's all one word. Shaveeverywhere.com.
Shaving your doesn't
note with some amusement that the shaveeverywhere.com URL was apparently still available to Phillips, hadn't already been claimed by some underground fetish porn outfit. Wonders, he says. Yeah, I wonder what kind of a queen writes stuff like this about male crotches. But nevertheless, what do I know about such things, right? Anyway, for the record, ShaveEverywhere.com is one of the new breed of interactive live-action campaigns that uses a series of fluid, fast-loading video splices of real actors to give the feel that the character is actually speaking right to you. There's another prime example of this genre, Microsoft's baffling but highly entertaining, for about 10-minute search site called Ms. Dewey, MSDewey.com, in which a terrifically sexy actress, Janina Gavankar, simultaneously flirts with and fluently berates her army of swooning geek boy viewers as they desperately scramble to type something clever to get her attention. Check it out, it says. Okay, I will. Right off the bat, the playfully smarmy Phillips pitchman, let's call him Gary, a guy apparently meant to be a cross between a likable fraternity guy and a B-grade Hugh Hefner and that dude at the bar. I can't stop thinking about that movie. I can't think of the name of it.
It can create a new you in the bedroom.
Huh?
As soon as your partner sees your new...
The one with the that geek in it. The Dutch geek, the one that I can't stand.
Oh, I don't know.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can think of it.
Oh, you can't think of it either?
No.
I love that movie. And what's her? Faye Dunaway's in it. And they're dancing up on the bed and the whole deal. And the scene at the restaurant downstairs with the two mothers and the two guys. It's just, seriously, you talk about a pee in your pants moment in that movie. What is that movie?
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
Well, Google Faye Dunaway. It'll tell you.
All right.
I mean, how many movies has she done in the last, since she's been 100 years old?
100.
Right off the bat, the playfully smarmy Phillips pitchman, let's call him Gary, a guy apparently meant to be a cross between a likable frat guy and a B-grade Hugh Hefner, and the dude at the bar who orders a gin and tonic and won't stop talking about his love of cigars and parasailing. Gary lets you know the game. He mentions the absolute necessity of trimming, with full bleeps intact, of course, your back, your that, and those, and ass. Well, I can say balls, but certainly not in the context of this. No. Tennis balls, baseballs, footballs. He keeps a straight face throughout, all winking, nudge, nudge, in the in-the-know guy chit-chat. In the know, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Gary is selling something called a body groom, a rather cheaply modified electric shaver made exclusively for men. It is apparently an all-over trimmer for all sorts of hair, from back to armpits to undercarriage, and yes, it really exists. Phillips has sold a truckload of them, far more than they expected, and all thanks to Gary. The pitch is clear. Gary will tell you straight out that the body groom will help make your look bigger. Well,
he does.
I better check this out. That'd be a miracle for me. This is a theme and a key selling point. He will also tell you with a winking straight face that the body groom is the convenient, easy, gentle way to make your genitals bloom. And if you ask him if women really prefer a well-groomed man, a snicker in disbelief and barely be able to contain his laughter before composing himself, looking straight at the camera and deadpanning, yes, they do. In fact, the opening introduction alone addresses your average American frat guy's naggingly homophobic concerns right from the start. Gary even admits it to himself. Let me tell you, this whole issue of genital grooming used to make me quite uncomfortable, he says, but now with a hair-free back, well-groomed shoulders, and an extra optical inch on my... Let's just say life has gotten pretty darn cozy, he says. Well, you'll smile and say to yourself, this is Phillips Norelco? This is a major manufacturer of mountains of Chinese-made consumer products. Are they insane? Are they simply begging the Christian right to write nasty little notes to corporate headquarters and threaten a shaver boycott as they puke about the flagrant innuendo and bleeps and the offensive notion that American men should shave their perineum? I don't think I ever saw that word before in my life.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
Perineum?
Huh?
Well, whatever it is. We have a pretty good idea what it is. Doesn't matter. Click through the site a couple of times. Be sure to watch the music video, and you can't help but admit it's a ballsy move. Not only is Phillips' agency, Travel DDB, smartly defying the cultural conservative mindset that wails about gays and cries about sex and screams at the sight of the female nipple, but they're simultaneously going after that rarest of homophobic, monosyllabic demographic beasts, the untrimmed American net-savvy frat guy blog-reading dude. The untrimmed American net-savvy frat guy blog-reading dude. And if sales are any indication, they're succeeding fabulously, it says. In this way, you might even say that Phillips is serving a deeper humanitarian purpose, fulfilling a serious cultural need. They are inadvertently, of course, doing nothing less than informing armies of young sexually confused men beasts that the general trimming of body hair, including, as Gary repeatedly states, the and ass. Well, I'm not going to read those words for crying out loud.
Not.
Even the balls I am a little nervous about. Well, it all depends. Sometimes. Isn't just for transvestites and gay porn stars and metrosexual writers anymore. In other words, caring about this sort of thing doesn't make you gay or stupid or emasculated. It actually makes you sort of hot, says Mark. Well, I wonder where Mark is coming from.
You fairy.
And besides, who wouldn't want the pleasure of an extra optical, well,
I'm loading the music video now.
Leave it to George to, load me up with some kind of a pornographic story like that. We got 1,014 votes, by the way, all you hairy guys. Wow, talk about a close shave. I don't know. It's not a topic I've really given an awful lot of thought, No,
neither had I. But, the old ladies, they don't mind. They don't know any difference. But the young girls, they have a definite opinion about it.
Well, they tend to be a little pushy at times, the young girls.
Yeah, well.
1,018.
Blame the porn industry.
1,018 votes on the poll. Yeah, sure. If I guess Ron Jeremy never would have made it.
No, not in this day.
Of course, how he ever did make it is a real wonder. Which Democrat would you like to see nominated in 2008 is our poll today. We got 1,018 votes. Let's hear it. Oh! Look at the comeback I've made today with my throat the way it is, man.
Great job.
Barack Obama. Boy, this is close. This is a little bit too tight for my comfort. I'll tell you that for my comfort, constant comfort tea. You think it's the tea that's done it? Because I did make another cup during the break.
Whatever hot liquid, that's what you need.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
See, I can get confused on that hot and cold crap. It's like that time I took that tumbling fall in Amsterdam and I broke the bone in my hand, you know, and it started swelling up. And I went back, I got on the tram, and I went back to my apartment, and I put it in a pot of boiling water.
No!
And I did just the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Well, it didn't really make any difference because I didn't know the bone was broken in my hand. It swelled up to like, you know, gigantic. 1,018 votes on the poll. Barack Obama's got 298, Al Gore 262. It's 36-vote lead for Barack Obama. If you people will just listen to me and understand what I'm telling you, Barack Obama he's got more personality in his little finger and more charisma and more dynamism in his pinky than Al Gore's got in his entire stodgy body. Not that I don't like Al Gore. Right. He is just wooden, man.
And I don't want to say well-spoken because everybody thinks that you're saying well-spoken for a black guy.
No, well-spoken for any guy.
Well-spoken, period. Like,
don't pull that Joe Biden stuff.
Great delivery.
He's outstanding. Barack's the man. Anyway, he's got a 36-vote lead. It's tight. 298, 262. Hillary is a distant third, 111. Man, she talk about personality. Can't complain about hers, and you want to know why? She doesn't have any. She is nasty. John Edwards, 87. I'm a Republican, 69. Well, guess what? Let me say it again.
Blaming.
There you go. Whoever, 62. People who are indifferent. How can you be indifferent when we got this?
I like to start.
Yeah, good. Well, we'd like to see you finish. Like this afternoon would be good. And leave. Bill Richardson, 45. Howard Dean, look how many Howie's got.
About 30, man.
Joe Biden, 29. And I hate this poll, only 27, 2.6%. How could anybody not like this poll? Even though it's only February 14, it's Valentine's Day 2007, and the election ain't until November 2008. But everybody's so anxious to get rid of this bozo, just desperate, you know? I wonder if he's shaving it. I think the whole world has got a close shave with him in it. Oh. Now, can we play that Joe Costello bit? I don't think so. Probably not a good idea. Because then you'll be getting emails from Joe Bell and then from Joyce and we'll all be in hot water. It won't just be my hand in hot water.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Jeweler, and I sound like Bob Hope on acid. And I want to tell you, it's the 12 to 1 hour or whatever it is.
Ground control to Lisa Nowak. Ground control to Lisa Nowak. Set your cruise control and keep your diaper on.
This is Mission Control. You are go for lunch.
I don't have time for lunch.
Not lunch. Lunch. Stupid.
Don't you think I know that?
5, 4, 3, 2. We have ignition.
Yep.
And you're sitting in your deep hands, right far away. The sinner bonds for you as you sit in your doo-doo. Yep.
Poor Lisa. It's just love, man. That's what it's all about. Just love. Love makes you do strange things. Anyway, it's 12:01 at QAM. I haven't taken a call today, have I?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, that's a bad idea. I should be taking a lot of calls with my voice in this kind of shape. Although it's not too bad today. It made a phenomenal comeback.
Well, especially now that you need those lunch suggestions.
Yeah. Well, my close personal friend said Anthony's Runway 84 is open on Sunday for lunch, and I just looked up their website. It doesn't say that. It says they're open, I don't know, Monday through Friday for lunch. So I don't see that. I don't want to, walk out of that restroom with just my credit card in my hand. Whatever that means. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know where he found that. Maybe in the Yellow Pages. Maybe, that's a great place, by the way. I love that place. Anthony's, you ever been there, Runway 84?
Don't think so.
In fact, you better like fast for a week before you go there. They give you enough food for an Italian army. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I love your shows. A few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, you had a skit going that almost made me just die in my pants laughing. With a Scottish bagpipe player teaching.
Yeah, can't play that no more. You got to be dreaming, man. We can't play that no more.
Really, what happened?
What do you mean, what happened? What happened? Janet Jackson and Justin Tinkerbell flipped her boobies on the Super Bowl, and now we can't play anything. You know that.
Too bad. I didn't know that. Sorry to hear that. But keep up the good work, buddy.
Okay, thanks, pal.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we can play about 4 seconds of it. I mean, it's still in there. We can play play sitar. Here it is.
Hi there, boys and girls. Today, we've got a very extra special friend stopping by.
Yeah, there you go. That's about as much as we're playing of that. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. My experience has been that most, sensational steakhouse kind of places, they don't open for lunch, even during the week.
Right.
Would you agree with that or not?
Generally speaking.
I mean, not that this is a major crisis. I'm sure that'll
it's a dinner kind of a thing.
What is it?
Steakhouses. It's a dinner kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's see.
Somebody will come up with something.
Oh, yeah, and I did send a message that I am bringing something along. There won't be any charge. Oh, I think I may be talking myself out of this meal. I better cut the crap, Although it might be, add a little entertainment. At any rate. Hey, well, listen, it's just one of those things. So Anthony's, I guess, I don't know. Somebody will come up with some really sensational place that's open for lunch, even on the weekends. Okay, there have to be. I mean, my God, how many thousand restaurants must there be in South Florida? At least 30,000.
Right. In a world-class city like this.
Oh man, there's always Mickey D's.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Drive-through.
WQAM, hello.
Make the request. Bring out the games, please.
Yeah. Okay. Good. WQAM, hello. QAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Would it made any difference if that kid in the locker room stuck a turkey drumstick up that guy's ass?
Yeah, it would have made a big difference, yeah. WQAM, hello. QAM, not there. This is, like you said, they're going to be flooding us in with suggestions now. I think we burned that whole deal out. I saved that thing with the steakhouses, by the way.
Good.
Remember somebody faxed in all those Capitol Grill and... but then I think you got to go to the individual websites to find out what hours they're open because it's not on here.
The good news is most respectable places do have their own website with their hours.
Oh, yeah.
Even the menu.
Well, that's why I looked up Anthony's Runway 84. Right. I don't see anything on there about being open Sunday for lunch. Maybe it was the threat of that caused a little bit of a brain fart there or something. I don't know. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neely.
Yes, I am.
Hey, how's it going, man?
All right.
Hey, check it out. Have you ever, George? You probably read. You don't know about Wired magazine?
Yes. What about
it? Okay. On not this issue, but the last issue, it has like some dork with glasses on it, and it's called The Enemy, about army people, whatever, getting sick with this superbug. And if you go onto Wired.com and find out about it and read it, it goes from Baghdad to Europe, and then it goes to Washington, and we have.
Yeah, I had that story. I think I read a few days ago. I did that story.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I'm wired. Wicked.
It is wicked. Well, it's a wicked world, man. It's a wicked universe. Have a great life, Pally.
Later.
Okay. Have a good time. Later. See, he was doing great until he got that later. That was kind of a tip-off. He's a good guy, though. He was under the age of 100, and he sounded like he had his head screwed on straight. In fact, if he wants to come over here and get a little haircut. Give it a haircut. 5670560, pound 560.
Shaving the trim.
Yeah, there you go, on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. All you little shavers out there. Well, whippersnapper is so old-fashioned, but you little shavers, that sounds like so cute to me, And if you are real cute, come by. I've got this... this thing's probably getting dull because I keep doing that up against the mic. I don't know why I do that. I've had this a pretty long time. I've been shaving my head. This Sharper Image Ultra Groomer. I probably ought to get a new one.
Well, this Norelco thing that spawned that article is supposed to be for everything, including your head.
Your head?
Yeah.
Your crotch.
It's bent at an angle so that
ass.
you can...
you can do that, get nooks and crannies, I see. Nooks and crannies, and even maybe for Granny it might not be too bad.
And your fanny.
Right. WQAM, hello.
Neil, how you doing
yes, sir.
today?
Great.
Did you find out what perineum, what it was?
I have no idea.
It's the medical term for the skin between the butt and the groin.
I see.
So it's the taint?
The taint. Yes, sir, George. That's what it is, a taint.
Wow. I didn't know it had a real name.
But perineum is a medical term. Okay, sir?
Perineum?
Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. Perineum.
Taint too bad. 5670560. I better adjust my perineum. Well, see, we learned something already. Who said this isn't an educational show, even with me being under the weather and all and stuff like that? So I'd like to get that straightened out about Anthony's, because wouldn't you think on their website they would know what hours they were open?
I imagine.
You would think so. But, of course, this creates a little more drama. You know, it's always good to have a little bit of drama. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, I love the drama.
WQAM, hello. QAM. Oh, and it says the associate producer's timed out.
Uh-oh. Internet hiccup. It'll come back.
Oh, it did come back. See, just like that. See, wasn't that good that it came back right there?
Oh, yeah.
WQAM, hello. QAM, hola.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'd like to speak to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil.
Yep.
All right, it's good to talk to you. I've only called you once before. I've listened to you forever. I mean...
100 years, I'll bet.
Oh, my God. You're over
Exactly.
20, I guess.
Huh?
Over 20 at least.
Over 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, all the stations you put
By the way,
on
don't
here.
forget, March 1st, that's, what is that, 14, about 2 weeks away. We got my 31st anniversary coming up, so come up with some good presents.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to ask you about, I don't remember what station it was on. I think it was IOD, where the lineup was you, Rick and Suds, and Phil Hendry. That program director was a genius. It was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. The program director was, Boy Gary was a real genius, right.
No, I know it was your doing, but, you know, I wanted to give credit.
It wasn't I doing it, it wasn't his doing, but nevertheless. What are you doing? What do you got?
What I wanted to ask you was, whatever happened to Rick and Suds?
Suds was on with George last Friday. He's on with George whenever he can get a free meal when George is filling in. And the Rick we don't know, we don't really care.
Okay.
Okay?
No, I was curious about that. Well,
okay. Well, curiosity killed the cat. Okay, that's what Sid Levin told me. Curiosity killed the cat. There's an important fact coming over the machine now, Mon. I sure hope it's some... See, I think we killed that thing with the restaurants 2 weeks ago whenever we did that. I think we buried that.
Oh, no.
Thing. No? Oh, look at the way the phones are lighting now.
That's right.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. Shula's on the Beach is open Monday through Sunday, 11... Oh, there you go. Shula's on the Beach in Fort Lauderdale. 321 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. That's a pretty long schlep. Well, I'll see how that works with my pally there.
Put it on the pile of options, because I'm sure you're going to get a bunch.
Pile of opportunities there. Right, you know what I'm going to put on top of the pile?
I know.
Well, just
for paperweight.
Just to hold it all down, just about broke my glass with that. Yeah, Shula's on the Beach in Fort Lauderdale. On A1, eh? 321 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard is A1A. You know how many years it's been since I've been on Fort Lauderdale Beach? I mean,
I don't know, a couple?
A zillion years since they closed down the poop deck and all the places there, man. Oh, I could tell you some really great stories about Fort Lauderdale Beach going way, way back. But that's back when and what was the guy that just died not that long ago that had the, wasn't the poop deck. No, it was the little bar on the corner there.
Johnny Versace.
Get out of here. You are so useless, man. At any rate, it just ain't what it used to be. And then again, what is? You know, it all depends on how old you are and what you grew up and when you grew up and what was there. And everything is relative, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is with your relatives. How are we doing on that poll? Barack Obama's ahead by 33 votes. Al Gore is making a move. You know, a big lumbering guy like him. When you least expect it, man, he all of a sudden right over your shoulder. So what do you think about Shula's? You think that deserves to be in my pile?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've never been to the one in Fort Lauderdale.
They're even open for breakfast. I'm not doing no breakfast.
Well,
I'll tell you that right now. Huh?
How do you like that?
No, but they're open for lunch every day, 11:30 to 4:30, which would even include a Saturday. Well, we'll see. We'll see what works out for everybody. Maybe even George will come along.
No.
Not.
No worries.
11 past noon at QA.
Each other naked in the street.
Welcome to the final segment of the final installment of the Al Franken Farewell Show finale. I'd like to thank all the interns and underpaid staff who were so eager to please me. Most of all, I'd like to thank the Air America intern who put my Grateful Dead ramp on an old cartridge tape that Peter Tripp left here when it was WMGM. Can we hear that one last time? There it is. Yes. You know, that added so much more body and flavor to my show. But I thank you for that. As you know, I'm leaving to pontificate upon a run for political orifice. And not that I believe my own press, you understand, but just in case. Tom Davis joins me from across my phone. Hi, Tom.
What, Al?
And now look at it. If I decide not to run for senator of the universe, what do you say we form a comedy team again?
Al, I wish you luck with your run for office.
I thought of asking Mort Saul, but he's much too close to death.
He turned you down, huh?
John, yes. So am I to take it that you
Can I hang up now?
That Tom, he's such a card. Yes. As the Grateful Dead once said, what a long, strange sojourn it has been. So let me exit stage left by simply saying, thanks for the memories. I'm gonna go away. That is, of course, to say, should I actually run for office? If not, I can always try my hand at a job at radio. And that's relevant because
Yeah, bye, Al. He just gets chopped off right on the end. 12:17 at 560 WQM. We got Eddie K for the Mad Dog at 2 this afternoon. I guess Mad Dog's getting off for Valentine's Day, wouldn't you think?
I reckon.
What would be the other reason?
Probably he wants to.
Yeah, because he don't feel like it. Good reason. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I want to ask George a question. When you shave, what do you do if you nick your nooks and crannies?
Well, that's the whole point. I don't want to. That's why I ordered this new product.
Okay, and hey, Neil, what do you think about going against Jim Rome during the afternoon here?
Oh, yeah, that's that. I don't know how we can handle that.
Yeah, how are you faring against him?
Huh?
How are you faring against him?
What are you talking about? Have you lost your mind,
This
sir?
must be a
Jim
joke
Rome
call from across
doesn't
the
even
street.
show up on the Richter scale. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, Jim Rome! How many times has Romey been on already with his point like that? Yeah, how are we doing against Jim Rome? Oh, no, obviously he's ready for programming the station. No question about that. You're hired, Pally. Start on Monday. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Billy Frederick from Shoes on the Beach. How you doing?
Great.
Hey, in answer to your question, that was Crazy Greg Newell, owned the button.
Right, Button on the Beach. He's a good guy.
Yep. Was.
Well, was. His memory still lingers on, though.
Yeah. And, yes, Shoes is open for breakfast.
Yeah, but I don't want to come by for breakfast. But you're open every day for lunch, though, right?
Yes.
And I'm not looking for no freebie now, my friend. I'm not looking for that, because that would be a very grotesque thing to do. No, I'm serious. I hate doing that, because what kind of a deal is that?
Well, it could be a good deal. But you got to do it while I'm there.
No, don't worry about it. I'll see you soon.
I know, it's a long trip.
Thanks, Pally.
Take care.
You too. And what did he just say? No, I'm not looking to find a place to get a freebie. What kind of a way would that be to do something,
Typical?
What?
The typical way? I'm not saying for you.
I do freebies?
Not
typical radio way.
Right.
Oh.
South Florida and radio and all of these
That'll
things.
be a cold day in hell when I invite to buy somebody a good meal and then it turns out to be a freebie. Boy, that would be really grotesque and unacceptable to me. I don't really know why it's such rocket science. I think George hit on it earlier, that because it's such a world-class city and such a... I mean, you would think that ordinarily there'd be a zillion places you could choose from, but it's just not quite that easy. I'm sure somebody will have some. How do you like that? There's the guy from Shula's on the Beach calling in. That was pretty quick, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was phenomenal. WQAM Crankline, hello. Yeah, that's the one. Body wash. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
In the infamous words of that brainiac Anna Nicole Smith, like my body. Not anymore, sweetheart. It's decomposing. Ew.
Oh, I'm so glad that you people are focused on the important things, like Anna Nicole and her body is starting to stink worse than it usually did and all this other stuff. Isn't that lovely? That's the important stuff. Crazy astronaut bitch and Anna Nicole. Why would anybody care about anything other than that, right?
What else is there?
Zion America, baby. WQAM, hello.
Neil, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
For the love of God, please stop reading the news.
Yeah.
Take more of these calls.
Yeah, take a lot more good calls with people who have something important to say, like you, right?
That's right.
Okay, thanks. Good caller, yeah. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neely. Hey,
Yes,
buddy,
sir.
in all seriousness, how do you not shave the boys? It's very liberating and cool, man, down here. I work outside, and it's nice for a change. Not naked or anything.
Yeah, I think that last caller had an excellent point, don't you?
By the way, just because you don't know, because you don't have the local news, there's a high-speed chase going on through the streets of South Florida. The cops are chasing a woman in a U-Haul truck.
And
so it's great. Nothing, just, some of the
why do
locals
we care
might be
about that?
interested
Well, I
in
guess it's something, a good
Allendale.
diversion, If there's anything almost as good as perversion, it's a good diversion. And in South Florida,
I have no line.
we could use a few. WQAM, hello.
Hey, there, you watching this crazy bitch in Miami run to the U-Haul and running
Now,
around?
George just got through saying that about 4 seconds ago, so I'm watching it right now. Maybe it's on MSNBC. Maybe they got
might
it
be.
on.
I
sure hope not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is.
Then ram it, then block it in with a couple police vehicles if it's safe, and they're able to do that.
Truck chase in Miami, baby.
Another
Now we're
technique
talking.
that they use usually in conjunction with a pit maneuver.
And finally, the roadblock. When do you employ the roadblock?
A roadblock is just another type of
Oh, it's from WTVJ, no less.
The thing about roadblock and stop sticks is you...
Aren't you impressed the fact I'm sitting in Toronto and I got WTVJ here by way of MSNBC? Aren't you really impressed?
We're talking to each other like we're in the
route
same
that
room.
you might think they're going to take.
The internet.
They can take left or right turns or go many different areas. So.
And Deputy Atwood, I just want to ask you to stop for a second. Please do stay with us. We are following the story, and apparently the driver has abandoned the vehicle at this point. We do want to let our viewers know that this tape is on a delay at this point, just obviously for safety and to make sure that nothing inappropriate ends up on your TV screen. You see the police there swarming the U-Haul, jumping in, can't get a good visual on whether or not they've been able to apprehend the suspect or not. She jumped out of the car when it was moving, and as we continue to take a look...
They got something over there. They're all gathered around. They got her on the ground. There she is. They're dragging her ass out.
Bob, right when she bailed out, she ran over to the corner of this intersection, and then they immediately there was a police officer that jumped in to stop the moving truck from entering that intersection, and there she is right there. You see her on in the middle of your screen, Bob. And I will get you an exact location in just a moment. We are at 441, and I'm trying to look here, Bob.
Yeah, look at the street sign, honey.
You're listening in there to the reporter who's in the chopper at WTVJ as we watch the conclusion of this high-speed chase that started in Hollywood, Florida, but went well into the Miami-Dade County. The way this ended is the way you hope these kind of things ended. Nobody specifically hurt. The driver abandoning the vehicle, jumping out while it was still rolling. We've had Deputy Tiffany Atwood joining us. She's been trained in these sort of high-speed chases. And Deputy, as this comes to a conclusion, is this the best conclusion we could have had?
Absolutely. The goal is to end it quickly and safely with no one injured and, of course, get this person into custody safely. So this is the best conclusion.
A lot of people who are probably watching this saw the police officers following behind at a certain distance and wondered why they didn't intervene in any way. Can you give us a little bit of insight about that, why they just continued to follow the U-Haul?
It really kind of depends on what kind of information that they have.
This is so exciting. I might just go into a coma. It's just,
it's over, done.
Some Yahoo broad hauled her ass with a U-Haul, and they're chasing her, and she jumped out, and they grabbed her ass, and she's in the police car going to the Hooskow. And what's it all about? Do we have any idea?
No, it looked like some crackhead, some drunk.
Get out of here. Now, that's not a nice thing to say. How do you know that? You can tell a crackhead drunk just by looking at that bitch?
I said crackhead or drunk.
Oh. And look at all them vehicles there, man. Look at all them police cars. Man, this is more excitement than almost as much exciting as Elianito when they were on their way to Sister Jean's house.
Nothing as exciting as that.
Remember that when they were zipping across the Judo Tunnel Causeway and Ricky Ticky Sanchez was on the phone? Turn around and come back. There's nobody going to be there. Turn around and come back. Crazy person, Ricky Ticky Sanchez. We had 1,092 votes on the poll today. Well, I never expected all this excitement on the same day.
No.
Which Democrat would you like to see nominated in 2008? Of course, I realize that's not very important because how does that compare with, like, police chase in Miami on 441?
Or Anna Nicole's carcass.
Anna Nicole's rotting carcass. Or the, although we don't hear too much about the crazy bitch astronaut no more. Thank goodness for that. Oh, there we go.
Storm's got it. How folks are coping with...
The storm, but there's Anna Nicole on the left. Looking really good there, man. And there. Wow. Even I would get excited about that. But nevertheless... Which Democrat would you like to see? Barack Obama, 316. Al Gore, 285. It's getting close. It's getting tight. 15 is 31 votes. Man, Al Gore is right on Barack's butt. Hillary Clinton, 118. John Edwards, 95. I'm a Republican, 72. Well, and they're still listening. Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. And quit reading the newspaper, Neil. Stop. No. Whoever, 66. Bill Richardson, 47. Howard Dean, 35. Joe Biden's got...
About 30, man.
And I hate this poll, a mere 28, 2.5%. Out of 1,092. I think we got a shot at 12 today, don't you? 1,200?
I think you do.
Well, I think that's an omen for a Woodbine today.
The biggest
got my clothes on, by the way.
Talent. This is Neil Rogers.
Brown
Sports Radio
corduroys.
560 UAM.
Lollipop, little boy.
This is Eyewitness News. An autopsy is set for tomorrow to determine what killed Anna Nicole Smith. Like her life, her career also had its ups and downs.
I'm doing a porno movie.
In 1994, she married an 89-year-old oil tycoon who died a year later.
I want to hump him now.
In 2002, she starred in her own reality TV series.
This is kind of scary for sure.
But by the late 90s, her figure had changed.
Gonna eat you.
She lost weight again and more recently became the spokeswoman for the diet product Trim Spa.
Quit smelling my belly button.
It's no secret Smith loved the limelight, and she basked in it often.
You don't say I threw up when I didn't.
Smith's world changed dramatically with the birth of her daughter Danny Lynn last fall.
If you have to pee-pee in the middle of the night, here's my toilet.
Smith will remain in the media over the controversy surrounding her daughter's paternity.
I'm doing a porno with 7 guys and 2 girls and a dog.
The results of her autopsy should provide some answers.
Quit your bitching and eat your pizza.
Okay, 1232. She was a class act. Made no mistake about it.
No.
And I'm not going to read any more of these stories because I think that guy had a good point, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just take a whole bunch of great calls like his. He had nothing to say.
Take all these calls right now.
And let's take everyone that's on there. I notice line 1 still is not working, by the way,
Yeah.
for the 400th year in a row.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes. We don't really care about such stuff. All we care about is payday. That's basically
right.
what it boils down to. Just like that schmuck that called that had nothing to say about anything.
Quit reading the newspaper, Neil. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, read this. We're waiting for your fantastic calls, by the way. There isn't one on the board. 5, and, of course, even when they do come in, does that mean they have really something to say?
No.
Not usually. But nevertheless, you're the experts. I'm just the putz that's been doing this 100 years. Don't forget now, what day is March 1?
Thursday.
21, 28. A week from tomorrow. No, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Is my 31st anniversary on the air in South Florida. Isn't that exciting? Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting.
And the best part of the whole deal is the lights just all went out on the phone.
How do you like that?
As soon as your partner sees your new...
Have you got them? Have you got the lights?
Yeah, I got lights.
I got nothing. Oh, there they go. Finally,
wow.
Just came back. Somebody I think is potchking around. Who knows? Maybe what's his name? Maybe Bob Vermouth is in the building.
Maybe it's the weather.
What are you talking about?
You know those blizzards that we.
WQAM. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
Well, I'd say Happy Valentine's Day because I deliver flowers, so I have to. They make me.
Sweet. Well, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the entertainment. But I have a suggestion for you if you're going to be in town and you're looking for a great steak in the daytime.
Yeah.
The Capitol Grill, but it's up at the Galleria Mall.
Yeah.
In the front of it, and I mean that's not too much of a schlep, not as far as Shula's, but awesome.
Really?
And I think I'm pretty sure they're open in the daytime.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks, sweetheart.
Okay, thanks, Neil. Have a great day. Thanks, bye.
Oh, how do you like that? Capitol Grill, that's something when we were doing the thing about the steakhouses. A lot of people called and raved about how great that was. And
they did.
And the Galleria, I mean, that's, I don't even remember how the hell to get there. I'm just not a Fort Lauderdale guy, even though I've lived in Plantation for 100 years.
When you just go east.
Huh?
You just go east.
Go east of what? On what?
Oh, on anything until you get there.
That's why I don't want to go over there, man. When you get east of 441 and you get into Fort Lauderdale, boy, it's a permanent construction, man. Permanently under construction.
It's all done. It's a picnic now.
Right. Whatever. I'll go anywhere.
Just there.
I got nothing but time. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
All right, Pally.
I saw your poll for the Democrat nominee in 2008, and It's funny you see that because off of 95, down in Aventura, there's a bunch of people holding up signs, protesting Hillary Clinton. Like I'm in my car right now. Oh my God, what's this guy doing?
All right. I like the guys that come with their own sound effects. That's
oh,
good.
yeah.
That was excelente. 1,113 votes on the poll,
I feel
by
like
the way.
we owe
We'll make
him money
1,200
now
today. I beg your pardon?
I feel like we should send that guy a check or something for all that.
You know, when I got up this morning, I mean, this maybe it's an omen. I might actually have a winning day at Woodbine, although I doubt it. They just ain't paying lately. But I got up this morning. I was positive I was going to come in here and say, George, you're doing a show. Like, you know, because I couldn't speak.
You sounded like that.
Like death boiled over. I felt pretty good, and now I feel great. I feel on top of the world.
It was just a layer of fuzz.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, you needed to.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You got to try that on Hollandale Beach Boulevard in Biscayne. I forget the name. I think it's Thera. I spoke too much, so I don't remember. But you have to try the lamb chops with garlic.
What is the name of it?
I think it's Thera, or I spoke too much, so I'm not going to remember.
Okay, well, you said that the first time. You smoked too much, so I won't remember.
Somebody suggested that, and I forget the name of it. Greek restaurant.
Oh, Greek. Oh, I'm not into Greek. No way.
Looked big and fancy.
And I just missed Little Richard again there on the guy called.
Damn it!
Damn it!
I
just saw the accent. What?
I want that.
Well, maybe Brandon will get you good quality audio of that someday. Although I don't know where the hell he is today. He's vanished on me. He's probably upset because I don't care about Vince McMahon and Donald Trump. I just see one thing about me. I cannot pretend to be interested in something that I just don't care about. I have no ability to do it.
Like what?
Can't do it.
Vince
well, like
McMahon?
wrestling, like that stuff. You know, like the WWE and the WWFE and FU
and WO.
Yeah. Are you ready to rumble? All that crap. No, I'm not. It's only February and already Dolphin fans have had a lot to complain about, writes Barry Jackass. Oh, don't be reading the newspaper now, Neil. Take more calls. Okay. WQ, it's about the ticket prices going up. QAM. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil. Happy
Yes, sir.
Valentine's Day.
Back to you.
Neil, do you happen to know where the obstetrician beat up that old man from that news source? What part of Toronto that was?
No.
You have no idea, because I want to go there and beat his ass.
How'd you like that guy? A nut job. The cops took him away.
That guy's nuts. Take care, Neil.
Okay. Pete Silverman, by the way, is the guy. He's 75 years old, and this crazy optician, phony optician. I told you that yesterday. He comes out and he just tried to beat the crap out of him. But Fred or Pete, whatever his name is, Pete Silverman, he held his own. He was duking it out. He had his fist up, like that. And he when he opened the door, this nut job, he opened the door and slammed it right out. Oh, did I hit you? Excuse me. And then he starts punching at him, and crazy guy. Looked like one of those guys from India, somewhere like that. See, you got all these, do I dare say it, fake doctors, like in Hialeah and Sweetwater and so on.
Yeah,
Your people,
Yes.
With the phony
That's right.
credentials on the wall, phony degrees, etc. Right. And here we got like some India people like that. A lot of people from India, a lot of people from Pakistan, a lot of people from China, a lot of people from Philippines, some people from Hungary. Anyway, where's the... So Barry says, how come there's going to be a 12% rate hike on the Dolphin season tickets? And, of course, Baldy, Pockmark, says, we raise ticket prices every year regardless of what the season is. That's what Wayne says. Dolphins say the $59 average ticket price was among the 8 lowest in the NFL in 2006. Meanwhile, Wayne, whose team hasn't been blacked out at home during the regular season since October of 98, makes no apologies for the big hike on club seats, affecting more than 4,000 renewals. Some suites also went up. He says it's justified, asserting many club seat holders who signed their deals 20 years ago had no escalation for 5 years, then only a little bit. Your increases haven't kept up with where they should have been. He said you had a great free ride for 20 years. The guy sitting next to him is paying what you got to pay now. You got to catch up. Marlins president David Sampson couldn't resist mentioning the Dolphin price hike during a town hall meeting Saturday, saying he would keep ticket costs low in a proposed new baseball stadium. Sampson said of the Dolphins, who's paying for the renovations? Maybe it's the fans. Bada-beep, bada-boop. And with the upgrades, Huizenga said the club level is going to be like a golf course clubhouse. New restaurants, new clubs, new restrooms, new toilets, all of these things. All of these things. Despite complaints, we hear the number of non-renewals has been comparable to past years, Barry says. We don't want to lose one season ticket holder, Wayne said. However, there's a long waiting list for those seats on the sideline. So, in other words, chubdir and dread is what he's saying. If you don't like it, take a hike. Just like the guy that called before, don't read the newspaper. You don't like the show? Take a hike. Get lost. Adios. You're a ghost. Can't stand those people. And you know they would. Those are the people who would never, ever leave. The bitchers, the complainers, the whiners.
You can't pay them to. You couldn't hold a gun to their head.
Exactly. I'd like to.
Yeah, I know.
Well, there you go. There's Andrea. Where's that hot weather guy on CNN? As soon as I mention something about that, he's never come back, that Aki guy. He's not Aki, and he's not IE either.
Maybe he's waiting for some hot weather.
He's pretty hot. 20 till 1 at 560 WQM.
And hold it.
Previously on 24. The following takes place between 10 and 10:05 a.m. on Jack Bauer's 24 Hours Off.
Well, Mr. Bauer, I'm Dr. Schnitzelgruber. If you just bend over there and grab your ankles for just a second, this shouldn't take long.
Don't you ever come into my office and talk to me like that again. Do you understand me?
You're in my office.
I'm tired of putting my ass on the line for nothing. I'm done putting my ass on the line for nothing.
Well, if you weren't so tense, this won't hurt.
It's just a question of how much you want it to hurt.
Calm down, Mr. Bauer. Maybe if I called the nurse. Nurse!
You must really not like your HMO.
24 Hours Off. Tonight, only on Fox.
On Fox. 12:45 at 560 WQM. Man, I feel like I haven't even had this cold. How do you like that? Just like a brand new child. I wonder what that's all about. Don't tell me it was that stupid-ass tea, either.
Okay, I won't.
I think it's just nature doing its thing. Plus the fact that I went to bed mighty early last night. I slept like a child, man, like an infant.
Hot liquid.
Is that what it is? The
Yeah.
tea? I'm not drinking any tea now.
That clears the velvet out of your throat, though. That's what got rid of it.
The velvet? The velvet fog? Or the velvet frog?
Fuzz.
Former Bush, I better not read this. That guy's going to get upset. Former Bush National Security Council official also said, oh, wait a minute. See, I'm reading the wrong spot here. This is from the Raw story. Former Bush National Security Council officer Flint Leverett, speaking today at a forum held by the New America Foundation, told a crowd in the Senate office building that in 2003, then Secretary of State Roland Colin Powell received a grand bargain offer from Iran and was rebuffed by the White House. I know as a fact from multiple sources this went all the way up to Secretary Powell, Leverett said, citing multiple sources at the State Department and the National Security Council. In Powell's words, he couldn't sell it at the White House. In other words, Iran made him an offer they couldn't refuse, and they refused. Leverett said the letter was also delivered to the UN Security Council. Rice told Congress last week that she'd never seen it. Right. The document went over to the NSC, and it's unthinkable that it wouldn't have then gone to National Security Advisor Condoleezza, Leverett asserted. She owes Congress an apology for saying she hadn't seen the document. The statements she's making before Congress are not true, Leverett added, noting that Rice almost certainly knows they aren't true. In other words, liar, liar, your pantaloonies are on fire, bitch. Leverett, who served as the Senior Director for Middle East Affairs on the National Security Council from March 2002 till March 2003, added that Condoleezza was probably lying when she said she hadn't seen the offer Iran made, which was channeled through Tim Gilderman, the Swiss ambassador to Iran. The Washington Post printed a PDF of the offer in today's online edition of their newspaper. Gilderman told U.S. officials in 2003 that an Iranian proposal for comprehensive talks had been approved by Iran's supreme religious leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, then President Mohammad Khatami, and then Foreign Minister Kamal Karzai, according to a copy of the cover letter to the Iranian document obtained by the Post. Bada beep, bada boop, bada bow. How you like that?
I posted a couple stories about that.
Did you?
During the vacation week. Sure, nobody cares.
No, I mean, what has it got to do with Anna Nicole for crying out loud?
Her rotting carcass.
And the fact that we're going to start dropping nukes on Iran and stuff like that. Why should anybody care about that or all those dead people in Iraq? See, that's one good thing about the American people. Thanks to the mass media, they really got their priorities straightened out. They got their heads on straight, eh? And as far as these calls are concerned, I see we got back into this dilemma again. How did you allow me to do this?
Weakness? Drugs?
Because it is Wednesday, and I thought that yesterday went okay, considering the fact I couldn't speak. And Monday went just spiffy, is what you told me. And today has been, just fine. But all of a sudden I look at the phone, it's dead as a doornail. Line 1, by the way, still doesn't work here at QAM. I just mentioned that. I'll mention it every day.
Nitpicker.
What is it? Yeah, I'm nose-picking and nitpicking. 567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. And like you said, in a world-class city like in South Florida, why should there be any problem any time of any day of the week finding a magnificent place for a fantastic meal? WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
I want to say two things. Let me raise my windows in my car. Beautiful Delray Beach. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
And back to you.
And also, the reason I think that, like you said, Barack Obama is so attractive to the voters on many levels is because, A, the Republicans are just completely messing everything up, and everybody knows that. But also, for this generation, he kind of reminds me of a multicultural Jack Kennedy kind of.
Yeah, that's what I said before, right.
Right, and I just think that is going to resonate. If this guy does something serious, doesn't come out on him, I can't see how he doesn't go forward.
Okay, well, let's hope. I got my fingers and my legs crossed.
Love you, baby.
Thanks, Pally. 567-0560, Barack in 2008. He'll be great. Don't be late. and pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
In collaboration with Neil Rogers and the Hard Rock, we bring you the fight you've all been waiting for.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, I got a question.
Yeah.
This last Sunday, I was watching a movie on, I think it was an FX channel.
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie, they showed two guys, bare back, the butts. And I thought that's not possible. And I was just wondering why they did that.
It's not possible to show two guys' butts?
Cable.
No, it was regular.
FX is cable.
FX is a cable channel, sir. It's not a regular over-the-air channel. It's a cable channel, FX.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. None of my friends could answer the question.
Okay, well, I'm glad you guys all enjoyed that, though, the bare butts. That was good.
Rectum.
Uh-huh. See, he had no problem with that. He just wanted to know how they could get away with that. That's because it was on cable. Although I do notice that even on cable, they still bleep out a lot of words and stuff and crap. Because that's America for you.
It's voluntary. They just don't want to cause a ruckus.
They don't want to take their chance. They don't want to stick their neck out there and get stuck in a ringer. Get a zinger and a dinger. How are we doing on the poll? We're going to make 1,200? I mean, I do sound pretty good considering what I did this morning, but I feel like I've been here for about 100 hours. 1,147 votes on the poll. We'll get 1,200 easy. And then Joe Bell will come in there at 2 o'clock and say, great job, guys. Excellent job. And by the way, George, did he say that word before? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was the word again? Perineum? What was that word about the...
Oh, jeez, I wish I knew.
I have no idea what it was. Something about your balls. I want to work that WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
You're right. I didn't like hearing another news article read.
Yeah, good. Drop dead. Okay, that's his material. He's got nothing else to say, and neither does anybody else. I don't know why I get sucked into this phone thing, man. Every once in a while, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of progress, and then all of a sudden it's right back to this again. Mm-hmm. And, of course, he felt compelled to call back again to tell me that he didn't want to
out no matter what.
In fact, I'll tell you what he could do. After every article I read, he can call in and say, you're right, I didn't want to hear another article on the air. He can do that. Because at least it'll give him something to fill up his time. Like this one. Jackson, Michigan. Boy, I remember Jackson, Michigan, man. Jackson Harness Raceway. Remember that? Clarence Ayotte, Jerry Banfield, Glenn Quick. Who? Here comes Whitey Amspaugh on the far outside. But anyway, Jackson, Michigan. You know where that is?
No.
It's like between. It's like right in central Michigan, south of Lansing. Right between Kalamazoo and Detroit. A Christian university in Jackson County is firing a transgendered professor. Dr. John Nemechek has taught at the school for 16 years, but when he started transitioning to become a woman, the school reduced Nemechek's responsibilities, eventually ending his contract. But not everyone supports the university's decision. Spring Arbor is a Christian school, but one group of faculty and students there say that doesn't mean there isn't room for diversity or perversity. Monday they held a rally to support the transgendered professor fired by the school. I'm overwhelmed. I'm really grateful for them coming out on a cold and wintry day, said Dr. Julie Nemechek. They came out on a cold and wintry day. Oh, and by the way, what the hell was that basketball player that came out of the closet?
John Amici.
There was a huge article in yesterday's, I'm sure I already threw the paper away, in yesterday's Toronto Star about him and about how he said that Toronto was ready for a gay athlete to come out of the closet and how progressive and open-minded, which he's right about that. Because this city is extraordinarily gay, but nevertheless. Anyway, the people were all gathered in front of Spring Arbor University for Dr. Julie Nemechek. Spring Arbor hasn't given a solid reason why Julie can't stay here. We think it's really important that she stay, said one supporter. I wonder if Jim Park was wearing a supporter. Well, he didn't have it on at the moment. Nemechek's attorney, Randy Barnaby, says letting Julie go amounts to discrimination. I wish you wouldn't have reminded me of that, by the way. It makes, I get emotional when I think about that moment. Yes, very emotional. Wish I could turn the clock back in time and just relive that moment. I might relive it differently.
What word did you say?
Clock. Oh. Nemechek's attorney, Randy Barnaby, says letting Julie go amounts to discrimination. This may be a Christian college. Oh, I thought that's what it was all about, Christianity, is discrimination, isn't it? Hate.
Right.
But they accept federal funds. Their students get federal funding. And when you get federal funds, you have to follow the federal law, said Barnaby. That's right. This case is set to go to mediation in March, but Nemechek's attorney says that if that doesn't work, they're going to take it to court. They're going to take it. Oh, Judge Judy was on last night, King. That's why I went to bed. I do love her.
Damn it. I wanted to watch, I'll watch Larry King to hear what she's got to say. Because she's great.
Yeah, you even put up with his crap.
That's right.
She said,
"You're a stranger."
They don't come any stranger than Larry.
Well, that's for damn sure. And although I tell you, he's not the one that pooped his pants a couple days ago. Well,
as far as we know,
yeah. At least we haven't had the reports yet. 12:56 on QAM.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
I want to move back to D.C., so please vote for Hillary, make her the winner. Move back into the White House, you can call me the first spouse, I'll plan state dinners. Vote for my lady, vote, vote, vote for my lady. I'm talking about former First Lady. That's right, folks, it is Hillary's time. When she's flying Air Force One, I'll be home getting some in the West Wing. And when I lie and cheat, I cannot be impeached. That's the best thing. Vote for my lady. Vote, vote, vote for my lady. Talking about former First Lady, it is Hillary's time. 2-for-1 special, baby. That's right. Roll that humidor back into the Lincoln bedroom. I wonder which position she'll give me. A Secretary of State. That's what I want. Let me see. No, I won't be Chief of Staff.
Well, there you go. Staff is the word. 101 at 560. Uh-oh. CBS 4 investigative reporter Mike Kirsch was arrested today during a traffic stop in Doral, according to Dade Police. Thought there was another page coming there. It just sounded like it, but nothing happened. No. It was a false alarm.
Yeah.
It happened this morning at Northwest 115th Ave and 42nd Terrace. Stop reading the news, Neil. Oh, I'm sorry. According to police, Kirsch was driving his daughter to school when he made an illegal left turn. An officer pulled his ass over, and the rest of them, too. Kirsch charged the officer in an aggressive manner, said Mary Walters with the Dade Police Department. The charges were not immediately known. We just found out ourselves, said Channel 4 spokesman Lee Zimmerman. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. I wonder whatever happened to Mike Zimmer.
Who?
Mike Zimmer used to be my producer when I worked at W Snooze once upon a time, and then he went to be a cameraman at Channel 4. He was a fine-looking young man. He was, one of those guys.
Well, maybe he'll call in.
Mike Zimmer? Get out of here.
Maybe he'll
I wonder whatever happened to Mike Horvath. He used to be, that would be an interesting thing to find out, although we never probably will. And certainly by taking the calls, how much information we get. I think Capitol Grill sounds like a good answer to my dilemma. They're open weekends noon to 4.
Mm-hmm.
And highly rated. I mean, get nothing but rave reviews. What do you think? Have you ever eaten there?
No, I have not. So I can't help it.
Well, what about Chris?
No, sir.
Anything? Well, listen, I can't believe there's any place you haven't eaten. Now, that's a little bit of a shock coming from a fat slob like me, but, you certainly don't.
In Broward, correct?
Yeah, in the Galleria.
Well,
he lives down by Metro Zoo.
I beg your pardon?
Chris almost lives in Key West.
You live by the Metro Zoo?
Yes.
Well, I'll be damned. And now, is it you or who is it that hates, what's his name, from the Ron McGill?
That would be me.
And what is it about Ron McGill that you despise so much? In
He's
fact,
fake.
He's fake?
Very.
Well, I'll play that open for the 1 to 2 hour again, and you see how sincere it is.
Hi, this is Ron McGill from Miami Metro Zoo, and I listen to that Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour. Hell, it's even better than Sex with the Animals.
No, that sounded pretty sincere to me. Didn't it to you?
He has to meet with everybody every day 1,000,000 times, so he's got that whole, I love you too down, but when you're behind the scenes and you see him, he's very fake.
Are you saying like backstabber? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know about backstabber, but, you're a good friend, it turns to whatever, get away from me type thing.
Now, did you work for him or something? Because it sounds like you've got a personal bug up your ass about poor Ron McGill.
I was in the
He's always
zoological
nice
magnet program in 8th and 9th grade.
You were in the zoological maggot program?
Magnet. That thing that we have down here where
what does
it's
that
to
mean?
Integrate schools, so different high schools and junior highs have special programs to bring other kids into the school.
I'm going to tell you, if they bring they're showing all the snow here. I don't know who this guy is, this Mocha guy in Albany on CNN. But if they bring the other weather guy back, I may have to have an interlude and hover over the TV set or something. That guy is really something. I'm just telling you because you guys wouldn't know, but I'm just
No.
The Aki guy. In fact, there's an arrow when he comes on the screen on TV. There's an arrow. I can't tell you where it's pointing to but it says Aki. I don't know what that means. You'll have to translate for me.
All right.
WQAM, hello. Good call so far. Not too bad. QAM. That's one of the quietest dead lines I've ever heard. I love those. And WQAM, hello, our last one. Hello. Like I said, okay. Yeah, quit reading those news stories, Neil. Let's go back to the great calls, man. They're really dynamite. Capital Grill, I think, is a capital idea. Now, if I go through my pile of stuff here, that's probably not a good idea. Because, one thing about this audience, you can never go back. How many times have we discussed that? How many million times? You can do the most hysterical, the most enjoyable, the most loved show, and if you come back the next day and you do anything that even smacks of anything similar, oh, well, gee, we already played that game, Neil. We already played that game. You play this. Oh, there's also a Capitol Grill on Brickell Avenue in Miami. Oh, do I want to go all the way down there?
Oh, I don't know if you do. I don't.
Well, I can fight about it with my close personal friend. We can battle it out. But, boy, 444 Brickell, Rivergate Plaza. Now, you're a Dade County guy. Chris, here you go. Where's that?
Never heard of it.
Downtown.
You never what?
Have not heard of Rivergate Plaza.
You never heard of Rivergate Plaza? What are you, some kind of a... No. Well, that's in Dade County. I don't live in Dade County like you. What kind of people live in Dade County? People who are stuck there, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Brickell Avenue is downtown and just south of...
Well, wait a minute. Are you suggesting that I don't know where Brickell Avenue is?
Well, you were acting like you didn't know where
in other words, you think that I'm that stupid that after having been there for like 30 years, I don't know where Brickell Avenue is? What is wrong with you, man?
You had this Alzheimer's going lately. Don't remember how you tell that Jim Park story every year?
Yeah, well, I got news for you. That's something I'll never forget, believe me.
You just forget telling people about it.
Well, maybe back in the day I could tell them about it. As you know now, just like the guy that wanted to hear the bit.
Yeah, the blang pag bites.
Yeah, bang plag pipes, right. Now, is this Jim Park thing something we can play or not?
I don't know. I think it's clean.
Here in the dark, I recall my high school days and dream about Jim Park.
Absolutely. Yes, I do. I should, anyway.
We went swimming naked.
Now, I never went swimming naked with him. I did see him naked, though. They were in the locker room that one day, but because he was not in the same class. But I want to tell you one thing.
And when I saw Jim in the nude, I felt like dropping to my knees.
Oh, no. Well, that's probably just to say one of those prayers for me at Woodbine, I'm
that's
sure.
Right.
A lot of people dropping to their knees these days.
It was a seminary school, right?
Yeah. It was a seminal idea, I think, to check out this. So there's a Capitol Grill. There's more than one. I guess I'll Google it during the break. There's no emergency now. This isn't something that's coming up like in 5 minutes or something like that. But I hear nothing but it says juicy porterhouse steaks, North Atlantic lobsters, grilled seafood, and classic desserts. Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, it does.
I don't even have any bacon to make today. That's because we got that damn snow out there. How's the snow doing up there right now, Neil? Not too bad. I'll tell you one thing about up north, okay? At least here, although we haven't had any snow up until today, like hardly at all season. But like in Buffalo and other horrible places that nobody sane wants to live, they sure know how to do it when the snow comes. When the gigantic, mountainous amounts of lake effect snow and all the other crap comes in, they know how to clear it pretty good, pretty fast. Now, can you imagine if it ever really snowed, say, like in West Palm Beach?
Thought about that.
Like
they can't
say,
drive when it rains.
An inch of snow. They can't drive on a perfectly dry road. Can you imagine the Altacockers? Oh, there's our friend Susan Candiotti.
An emergency hearing, and
the body can be embalmed but not buried.
Getting custody
That's what the judge says.
of
Here come the judge.
Smith's remains. The lawyers representing Howard K. Stern, her partner, have successfully petitioned for this emergency hearing in about a half hour from now.
Oh, my God.
To argue before the judge that they have the rights to Anna Nicole Smith's remains. Now, in order to prove that, they attached affidavits to their petition. And those are statements coming from her former bodyguard, from a doctor who is a friend of Smith and Stern's, a friend of Smith's from Texas, as well as an interview that Anna Nicole Smith once did with Entertainment Tonight, that show, in which she states that she wishes to be buried in the Bahamas next to her son Daniel, who you will recall died of an overdose at the age of 20 back in September, literally a few days after the birth of Danny Lynn, Anna Nicole Smith's infant daughter.
Yeah, I love Susan Candiotti. She's a sweetheart, and she, remember the day that Steve Nicola had her come in to do that fake interview about some diet that I wasn't even on? That was so embarrassing.
Yes.
So she loves us. But nevertheless, we love you too, Susan. But you'd almost think that it was an important story about Anna Nicole and who's the father of the baby and is she rotting and how bad does it smell. Capitol Grill in Miami on 444 Brickell. Let's see when they're open. They're open Monday through Thursday. See, that isn't going to work. Not for them. How's that possible? Oh, you want to know why?
Why?
Because they're in downtown Miami. They're like for business people, see?
Right.
Restaurants that cater to the business crowd on the weekends are not open for lunch, just like here at the
nothing
same
going
time.
on in downtown Miami on the weekend.
So I guess that kind of narrows it down to the Galleria, which is a good spot. It's kind of a close shave. I think I really ought to bring that
Shaving
thing on. And this guy's giving me don't read the newspaper on here. Where did that come from? One of our listeners?
What?
About the shaving
Oh, yeah,
story.
I got an email from Wynn.
That was one of the all-time best. Sure. Thank you, Wynn. Don't pay any attention to that putz that called earlier. I wouldn't know his ass if somebody put both hands on it. God, that was pathetic. 1,175 votes on the poll.
At this point, we just want you to honor the California court's order. Just keep the body here, Judge, until the California...
I have never, other than James Brown, which I guess is not a controversy, I guess that was intentional the way that he wanted it, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But in her case, I have never seen such a fuss over a body. I mean, granted, there's plenty of body there, but my God, everybody's goes pulling and tugging in. It's like the wishbone at Thanksgiving, man. Everybody's yanking in all kinds of directions, so to speak. I don't think I can say that. WQAM, hello.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Who's this?
Who you calling?
I was going to talk to George.
What do you want to talk to him for? This is Neil. What do you want to talk to George for?
Well,
what am I, chopped liver now because George was on for a week and now I'm chopped liver?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Rivergate Plaza is where the old Rivergate was at Brickell and the Miami River.
Oh, I remember that, but they're not open on the weekend there anyway, so I can't do that. Plus, I don't want to go there. I mean, Dade County for me, you know.
And Mike Horvath is a television producer in Dallas.
Really?
Yes.
He's a good guy. Did you know Mike?
I know him, yeah.
I mean, real person-like or what?
No, not at all.
Okay, have a great day, pal.
You too.
See, the people that I remember are the good-looking guys. You know, Mike Horvath was a good-looking young guy when he was a camera guy, Channel 6, or a news guy, whatever he was. Now he's in Dallas. Love you, Mike. Like that. See, I'm easy. Just the way I am, you know, like that song goes. I'm easy. What's that parody we got? I'm skinny, and I'm easy.
Is that what it is?
You don't have it? Skinny?
The parody, I don't know where to even look for it.
You don't have it? You know, I don't think you're keeping up to date. And then once it gets to be April and that other service starts without the discs anymore, and Chicken Neck is going to have to... I don't know how you guys are going to get,
offline.
Fight over that thing. Huh?
I don't know. I'm going to try to convince them to keep mailing the discs.
Right. Here it is. What's wrong with you, man? Too many magic mushrooms, I think. If I'm a little bitchy, I'm not too crazy about Lionel Richie. I'll tell you that right now. Can't stand it.
No, it sounds crazy, but she drinks more than she eats.
Although I do like that song. I don't know why. Do you like that song, Lionel Richie?
I mean, it started out as a good song, then they played it 5,000 times.
Yeah.
And,
don't blame him, though. Don't blame Lionel Richie.
I know. It's no endless love.
Oh, boy.
I hate it.
Like I said, nothing's
sight.
perfect. Nothing's prefect.
No, it sounds funny, but I just can't stand it.
1180, dial 1180, WHAM in Rochester. Did I ever tell you about, used to get free hockey tickets for the Rochester Amherst from Bob Turner. He used to do the sports on WHAM in Rochester. Not exciting?
Nope.
And he would read the names of the winner because nobody else wanted them, you know. I mean, no, actually the Amherst are still around. They drew well, but it was one of those things. It was one of those radio nerds, you know. And they used to send in postcards to win the free hockey tickets. And just every week almost I get a pair of free hockey tickets from Bob Turner.
How do you like that?
And he'd reach in the thing and, oh, yeah, Nelson B. Helfer in Canandaigua's, you know, like that. How the hell did I ever get here? You know, when you really come right down to it, stop and think about it. How did I get my ass sitting in this chair right now? You know what I mean?
Gravity.
Seriously, I should write a book. Nobody would buy it, but, maybe I'll just write it on my blog, on our website.
Sure, there you go.
I haven't written anything on there in a long time.
Somebody else will cut and paste it, and then they'll release the book.
And make $1 million.
Right.
That's okay. One thing I'm not sure of, by the way, is money. Sonny. I don't say that to rub it into you guys since you're getting paid the big bucks. But that's one thing. And I'm going to tell you something. Money isn't everything, but you know what? Having more of it is not a bad idea.
The biggest names.
As opposed to a lot less.
This is Neil Rogers.
As opposed to working for $5 bills on Lincoln Road.
In and hold it.
And now, fresh from rehab, Miss USA Tara Connor talks about her battles with drugs and drinking, about her recovery on Larry King Live.
What are your duties as Miss USA? What are you supposed to do?
You know, fill my void with drugs and alcohol.
Really?
I think so.
Cocaine?
Exactly.
Does it lead you to wilder things, sexual things?
Whatever.
Let's watch.
I don't think so. I'm very insecure. I'm very insufficient.
What was the worst thing about rehab?
I didn't get to use my phone.
Do you ever desire alcohol?
Oh, well, maybe I can just have one more. One more's not going to hurt.
We'll be right back on Larry King Live. Don't go away.
I'm okay.
119, all the trauma all the time, man. We got so many important things going on. We got her, and then we got the astronaut, and we got poor Anna Nicole, who's rotting. Her flesh is rotting and stinking and, grotesque. Like you were saying before about how did those people smell back in the day? Probably not all that good.
I imagine, but since everything is relative, it probably didn't. They didn't notice.
Yeah,
that was just the background smell of the world.
Kind of like an afternoon at Woodbine is what it reminds me of. The sights, the sounds, and the smells. I remember on INZ one time I did a thing about the sights and sounds of Prune World. Of course, we can't play those sounds anymore, but you can use your imagination.
Right.
5670560. I don't want to read any more of this stuff because, number one, I'm losing my voice again. Have you noticed? That's because I'm not drinking any more of that hot tea. And number two, I don't want to get that guy very upset. It sounded like he was like going to jump, didn't it?
Yeah, well, no.
He was right on the edge of the balcony there. He had one leg over it and one leg up his
rectum.
butt. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Heavy-duty fax from McCalla. It says, would it be possible to place a link for that shaving site and whatever that says?
Shaving
article. Yeah, let's put that up on our website on neilrogers.com.
Okay.
Well, maybe there are a lot of
shave everywhere.
McCalla wants her boyfriend or her husband or both to get a close shave. Who the hell knows? I still say, and you can go on from now until the end of time. It sounds very gay to me. Just from personal experience. So
did the body wash thing when you first brought it up. Sounded very
gay. Didn't sound gay to me.
I know, because you're gay.
What is it?
I said you're gay.
Oh, no.
You're gay.
Oh. I can't handle it. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Can I talk to Neil, please?
Speaking.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Good.
I've been waiting years to call you to thank you for something you did a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Back during the LA riots, someone called up and said about that there was going to be a revolution. People were going to stand up, and you said to them, nothing's going to change. From that day on, I looked at the world a different way and had a better life because of that. I just wanted to call and thank you for that.
Good.
So
enjoy life, man. Those are my 2 words of advice. Enjoy life.
I'm telling you, but after, are you going to keep on taking calls, or is it just a fluke today?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, sometimes I enjoy the calls, but, I think when you were down...
You probably know that body...
George is messing with you. Quit playing that body.
No, that was an accident. I was just getting the page so I could send it to Eric.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm just saying, I'm just glad you took the call, because I've been waiting years to thank you for that, and so...
Well, you're very welcome, and the price was right.
Exactly. Thank you.
Enjoy life, Pally.
Thank
See
you.
No, that's my advice to people. I mean, I read a lot of this serious stuff, and I try to get people a little bit... like here's Doug Thompson's article. I might read that if I have time, or if I have enough voice. I doubt it. They don't want to hear me reading all this ponderous stuff. But, sitting here on the radio is not going to change the world. There's some people who take themselves way too seriously. And I used to do that back in the day. I did those boring shows with the guests and all this other crap. And I was talking to... The average demographic back then was death plus 20, And I'm thinking I'm going to change something. I'm not saying be totally disinterested and don't give a crap about what the hell's going on, but enjoy your life, because if you think that you're going to change the powers that be and the insanity of the world, just look what's going on right now. Just take a look at it and then puke your guts out and go back and have a good time. That's my best advice. You have a very limited time. Enjoy it. We got 1,200 votes on the poll. How do you like that, huh? How do you like them rotten apples? I don't know what that means either. No, they're stupid cliche. How do you like them apples? Well, I don't know. How about you like them blueberries?
Yeah.
Which Democrat would you like to see nominated in 2008? 1,200 votes. Barack Obama, 350. He's pulling away a little bit. You go, man. He's 42 votes ahead of Al Gore with his 308. Hillary Clinton, 129. John Edwards, 105. I'm a Republican, 81. Well, your mama. What? Whoever, 71. They just don't care. 71. 5.9%. They're busy enjoying life and having a good time. I don't blame them. Bill Richardson, 57. Howard Dean, 40. Joe Biden, 31. And I hate this poll, only 28, 2.3%. Finally got a poll that somebody liked. WQAM, hello. Which we had to do after that horrible poll yesterday, which I still apologize for. That was very, very weak on George's part.
Sorry, I talked to him.
WQAM, hello. Okay, so there's 2 for 2 on that. See, the guy says you're going to continue taking calls. Yeah, if we get them, you know. But assuming that they're going to be calls means that you're assuming somebody might have actually something to say. And, of course, in South Florida, that's highly unlikely. Extraordinarily, extremely, amazingly unlikely is what I would suggest. I could be wrong about that, being the hard-bitten old bastard that I am. But it just, it doesn't happen very often. I mean, we've had some people today who've had a little something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not like overwhelming, not spectacular, not sensational, not really, educational, informative, amusing, etc. The one guy that had the sound effect going, the Hillary thing, that was pretty good.
Where can we get more of those kind?
Yeah, we need a lot more like him. Get your own equipment going over there. Maybe Jim Schuyler will help you out. WQAM, hello.
Hey, what's up, Uncle Neil?
How you doing, sir?
My throat's starting to feel like yours. I'm like all raspberry and crap.
Raspberry, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Called to wish you and Georgie a happy Valentine's Day, and that's it. I ain't got nothing else.
Back to you. Okay. See, they have nothing to say. He's a nice guy. Mm-hmm. Sounds very gay. No, I don't mean him, but just a comment. Heterosexual men do not wish other men happy Valentine's Day. I don't care what anybody says. It just, they can do it. Like he just did it. We've had a few people do that today. To me, it sounds extraordinarily gay, It's just that kind of a holiday, It's a holiday for sweethearts.
Right.
Could be 2 guys. Could be a guy and a chick. Could be, whatever. Could be 2 chicks. Could be a chick and a chunk. 26 past 1 at 560 WQM. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Oh, it must have a real quiet opening.
Real quiet.
I don't think that one actually recorded. Look at that. I don't think I've ever done that before in my life.
That was the first time for everything.
This one did, though. How do you like that?
Astronaut woman, stay away from me. Oh, astronaut woman, no stalking, please. Don't come here banging on my car door. You can have him, you loony whore. She will drive all night to attack you and wear a diaper so she don't stop to poo. Crazy woman, stay away. Astronaut woman, what will your kids say?
Okay, well, that one recorded. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, there was like 30 seconds there of a blank spot.
Yeah, there was.
Well, that's the way it goes. It's a technical screw-up, and this time it's on this end, and I'm proud of it. I'm real happy for myself. 1,220 votes on the poll. Well, if Chris would have really leaned heavily on this, and he's got the ability to lean heavily, we could have made 13 today. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And because there are absolutely no calls on that board, I'm going to read Doug Thompson's column.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes.
Good.
Business as usual on Capitol Hill. From CapitolHillBlue.com. He says, yep, things sure are different in Washington since the Democrats took over the Hill and turned the place into the most ethical Congress in history. No more gridlock, no more fat cat lobbyists buying access, no more talking the talk but not walking the walk. Wait a minute, let's look again. President Bush is still doing pretty much whatever the hell he wants, sending more American troops to die in his illegal and immoral war. Congress hasn't stopped him, nor are they close to finding any way to do so. The Senate still can't make up its mind how to debate on a non-binding resolution, while the House promises one by the end of this week. But it's too little more than a political, I can't even read that. Yank off.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm not going to read what it says. After the public relations-driven 100-hour agenda that huffed and puffed and produced little, the Hill has settled into the same old bastion of all talk, less work, and even less action. And those lobbyists who Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Majority Leader Harry Reid promised to be driven from the halls of power, they're still around, still writing out the big checks, still buying access, and still controlling the legislative agenda. Democratic Senator Bill Nelson had a bunch of them down to Miami weekend before last for the Super Bowl. For $5,000 each, they got to cozy up to the senator in the skybox and mingle. Now they're back in Washington writing legislation to benefit their clients that the senator will be oh so happy to sponsor. Senator Tom Carper, Democrat from Delaware, set up a skiing weekend at the Ritz-Carlton Bachelor Gulch Resort in Colorado for lobbyists willing to pony up $5,000 each. That's also the cost to go skiing and snowmobiling this month in Montana with Senator Max Baucus. Can't make it this month? That's all right. Max is having a fly fishing weekend this summer. Cost the same. Just write out a check for 5 big ones. But that's cheap compared to the weekend at Harbor House Resort, sponsored by the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. It'll take a check for $25,000 to hobnob with members of the most ethical Congress in history. Over on the House side, Representative Stephanie Tubbs doesn't want the girls left out, so lady lobbyists are welcome to join her manicures and muffins at Capitol Nails in Washington. The price is a true bargain by lobbying standards, just $2,500. Republicans, of course, aren't sitting back and claiming the high road. They're too busy finding their own ways to let lobbyists buy votes. Senator Mel Martinez is sponsoring a $5,000 a head President's Day weekend at Disney World, while Virginia Representative Eric Cantor will drink coffee with lobbyists at Starbucks for $2,500. The cost of a double latte just went up. One of the first actions promised by the new leadership of Congress was a ban on free trips and lavish gifts from lobbyists to members of Congress, a reaction of scandal-scarred former Republican Whip Tom DeLay's many golfing trips and lavish vacations on somebody else's tab. But the ink hadn't dried on the bill before the campaign funding committees on both sides started circulating memos on how to get around the new restrictions. Instead of letting the lobbyists pay the tab directly, the money now goes into the political campaign fund, which pays the tab. Members of Congress have long lived large off their campaign war chests. A look at the Federal Election Commission reports the Speaker of the House, Pelosi, shows her campaign funds pay for clothing, cars, dinners at fancy restaurants, and manicures. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid stays in $1,500 a night hotel suites and lets his campaign fund foot the bill. The fund also buys his cars. And it doesn't take long for newcomers to learn the ways of the world. Freshman Democratic Senator Jim Webb, the so-called breath of fresh air who delivered the highly praised response to Bush's tedious State of the Union address, set up a leadership PAC as soon as he got to town. Leadership PAC? What or who is Webb leading? Such willingness to sell their souls should come as no surprise. It became obvious as soon as Democrats picked their leaders that this would be business as usual. Reid is a well-known Nevada con man who uses the power of office to line his pockets with shady real estate deals in much the same way as former Republican Speaker Denny Hastert. Pelosi brags she learned politics at her daddy's knee, which is a dubious honor when you consider Daddy was a bagman for the Mafia, a mob-controlled mayor of Baltimore. California political boss Jesse Unruh used to say, money is the mother's milk of politics. It still is, but the milk has gone sour from all the pimps and whores from the most ethical Congress in history sucking it on Mama's teeth. How do you like that? Doug Thompson worked up today. Nice going, Dougie. Now, certainly we couldn't, probably that guy would call back and say, gee, again. But he won't even do that. Isn't that a shame? Because he's out of material twice as more than he can handle. 1,223 votes on the poll. How's Barack doing, man? He is the man. I'm telling you right now. You'll see a groundswell. It's only middle of February of 2007. He's going to leave Hillary in the dust. And she's not doing all that well with our crowd. She's got about not even 11%. Barack Obama, 354. He's got a 37-vote lead in Al Gore. 354, 317. Swillery's only got 131. So in other words, he's got almost 3 times as many as Swillery has got. I just don't know. If her last name wasn't Clinton, if she wasn't Bill Clinton's wife. Right. Granted, so she's a senator from New York. Whoopie-doo, and that's the only reason she got elected senator in New York. But at any rate, if she wasn't Bill Clinton's wife, would anybody take her seriously? Her brilliant health care operation, that was brilliant. And her vote for the war, which now she's trying every way to, manipulate verbally out of that deal. She's just full of crap, is what she is. And got a personality like a stone, like a rock, like a brick. She's got 131 votes, though. John Edwards, 106. I'm a Republican, 83. 6.7% of this crowd Republican. Well, we're embarrassed. We'll pray for you. Whoever, 73. Bill Richardson, 57. Howie Dean's got 41. Joe Biden, 33. And I hate this poll, only 28. A mere 2.2%, a 2-2. Which for this crowd is staggeringly low. Here's Sam who says, when you go to Woodbine, you play 2 machines sometimes, or is it best to play one at a time? Also, do you bet on any horses while spinning the veal? No, I don't bet the horses at Woodbine. I did way back when I started going a couple of times. Had a little bit of success. But I stay downstairs with the machines, man. Anyway, do I play 2 machines? Yeah, if you play 2 machines at once, you know what that does? It makes you lose twice as fast.
Is that a fact?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. Anyway, it says, I hope and pray you have an outstanding Woodbine Wednesday and have a great Valentine's Day. Thank you, Sam. I'll pray for you, okay? I'll pray to my grandfather, A.B. Solomon. You know, you can pray to Abraham or you can pray to Solomon, but what's much easier to pray to A.B. Solomon or Muggsy Solomon, my uncle, who's been dead for many years, the bookie. If you're going to go to the track, might as well pray to a bookie, right?
Right.
And speaking of that, Eddie K coming up for the Mad Dog at 2.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil God.
Coming up cheesecake, it's making the knees shake. All of the old folks off at the mall. They're checking the CDs. No, they never say please. Just waiting for the early bird special to call. Wasting away again in good old Hollywood. Searching for the false teeth they left in a glass. And how dare they claim that there's a talk host to blame?
Yes.
But they know it's their own damn fault. Shoving in line to get the early bird on time. They're pushing just as hard as they can. And once they are seated, they get overheated and start stuffing rolls and sweet and low in their bags. Wasting away again in good old Hollywood. Looking for that long lost fountain of youth. And how did they say that it's a bowl of prunes a day? Oy! But for some, an enema in the blues. The old folks don't know the reason why nothing is pleasing. Their muscles ache and their teeth just don't fit. But what does it matter when they call up Neil and chatter? I hate you, Neil, and never listen to your show. Wasting away again in good old Hollywood. Just a box of Metamucil and a radio.
Huh?
And how dare they claim that it's a talk host to blame?
Absolutely.
But Neil knows they can't wait for his show. How dare they claim that it's a talk host to blame? But Neil knows they just can't wait for his show.
Hear that phone ringing? It sounds like birds chirping in the background, but it's the phone ringing in that studio where they recorded that. Frank X. Licano in that crowd from back in the INZ days. Boy, those were the days, man. Those were the days. Those were the precursor to the Zeta days, and that was the precursor to the IOD days, and that was the precursor to this. You know, speaking of that, speaking of getting old, and that 31st anniversary coming up on the air in this town.
Yeah.
So I just get an email on my BlackBerry here, and it's from my friend Dave. Remember I told you my friends from high school came? Not Jim Park, by the way.
Oh.
I don't think I'd want to see Jim Park now, naked or clothed or any other way. But anyway, this is my friend Dave, who came up with his lady friend, Ginny, last summer. And I took him to Ruth Chris, and we had a great meal and a great time. We just had a lot of laughs. And he sends me an email saying, I seem to recall that you mentioned that Alan Block was a friend of yours in high school. I see from his mother's obituary he's living in Florida. Hope all is well with you. See, this is what we hear. So sorry to hear that. I don't know if Alan's still listening. Alan actually called on the air a couple of years ago. Maybe it's not a few years ago. Alan Block. I went to school with him. Good guy. Sorry, Alan. And his mother's name was Beatrice B. Block. Chip off the old block. So this is the kind of news you get when you get to be an old fart. I don't want to get anybody depressed, but like the guy who called before, I'm telling you right now, and this is the message. I gave it that do no harm thing for years. In fact, wasn't that what Jacob was giving that business about do no harm? Remember that? Yeah, he sure didn't do any harm to me, I'll tell you that. Damn near put me over the edge of my balcony. Nice going, Jacob. Do no harm my ass, okay, you idiot. You lunatic, you fairy. I think he's vanished, by the way, which would be good. I hope he's out on that rock in the middle of the desert in Vegas again. The rock squatter. But that's the one thing. And the other thing is enjoy life. That's all I can tell you. Have a good time. Because that's as much as you're going to do. I mean, all this other stuff. I mean, if you're going to bat your head against the wall and, oh, gee, what are we going to do about all these religious crazy people and all these people killing each other? I'll tell you what you're going to do about it. Nothing. That's what you're going to do about it. Now, that isn't to, say don't be an activist or don't get involved politically or stuff like that. I'm not discouraging that. I respect people that, want to give their time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Batting your head up against the wall, just like the article by Doug Thompson that I just read. Right on target, man. They're all there, not because they're a bunch of wonderful humanists and wonderful giving people. They're there because they're mostly a bunch of crooks.
Right.
They're there because they got their hand in the cookie jar, baby, and they're squeezing and grabbing every damn thing they can. That's what it's all about. 1,237 votes on the poll. Boy, yeah, if Chris would have really heaved on this. Would you heave on it? I should read this. I don't want to get that one guy very upset, because if I do one more, he'll get really PO'd. QAM, hello. QAM.
Yeah. I'm calling about boats, bridges, and rivers.
Yeah, oh, boy. Oh, I'm having a relapse. Only in South Florida, man, I'm telling you. Anybody visiting, any of you snowbirds on Valentine's Day, I apologize for not for the show or for anything I'm doing. Apologize for the people of South Florida. There are, about 80% like that, dodo birds. There's some nice people down there, but a lot of dodo birds. Yeah. I think I timed this out right to the edge today. In other words, maybe I'll be able to squeak through this last straight. Maybe not. Jonathan Landay from McClatchy newspapers, Joint Chiefs Chairman sees no evidence of meddling by Iran's regime. This is an important story. I mean, not as important as Anna Nicole's body is rotting and stuff like that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the whole thing. I'll just do a little bit. No, I can't. I don't even know if I've got time. Do I have time?
Read fast.
How's that?
Read it.
A day after the U.S. military charged Iran's government with shipping powerful explosive devices to Shiite Muslim fighters in Iraq to use against American troops, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said Monday that he hasn't seen any intelligence to support the claim. Marine General Peter Pace's comment could make it harder for the Bush administration, its credibility about Iran questioned because of its false pre-war claims about Saddam Hussein, to make its case that Iranian meddling in Iraq is fueling sectarian violence and causing U.S. casualties. At a briefing Sunday in Baghdad, U.S. military officials said the Al-Quds Force, an elite Iranian parliamentary organization, is sending arms into Iraq that include bombs that shoot molten metal jets through the armor of American tanks and Humvees. They said these explosively formed projectiles, or EFPs, have killed 170 U.S. troops and wounded more than 600 others and are coming from the highest level of the Iranian government. Asked about the briefing during a visit Monday to Canberra, Australia, Pace said he couldn't substantiate the assertion that the clerical regime in Tehran is shipping such devices to Shiite militias in Iraq. We know that the explosively formed projectiles are manufactured in Iran. What I would not say is that the Iranian government per se knows about this, Pace replied. It's clear that Iranians are involved, and it's clear that materials from Iran are involved, but I would not say, based on what I know, that the Iranian government clearly knows or is complicit, he'd be saying. Neither the White House nor the Pentagon responded to requests for an explanation of the apparent contradiction between the nation's highest-ranking military officer and his subordinates in Baghdad. A senior U.S. intelligence official told McClatchy newspapers that U.S. intelligence agencies believe the Al-Quds Force, a component of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps, couldn't conduct such a major undertaking without the knowledge of top leaders. Based on our understanding of the Iranian system and the history of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps operations, the intelligence community assesses that activity this extensive on the part of the Quds Force would not be conducted without approval from top leaders in Iran, the senior intelligence official said, who requested anonymity, by the way, because he values his life. Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who I love saying his name, denied Monday that Iran is supplying weapons to Shiite militias in Iraq or stirring up violence by majority Shiites against minority Sunnis, contending that the U.S. military presence is to blame for the bloodshed. The bloodshed, baby. That article I read about the impeachment, boy, that was outstanding. Remember that 100 years ago today?
Yeah.
The 8 million reasons why Bush ought to be impeached now, and all of his cohorts, his partners in crime. 1,242 votes on the poll, by the way. Not too bad.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Day-O in Miami town at 560 WQAM.
And I went to the bar, we drank some whiskey from the jar, we got drunk all over town, then I asked you to go down, you gulped it like a master, but soon there was disaster, the booze sure went down easy, now you're saying you're queasy, it felt good just like it should, but then it stunk cause you were drunk, you spilled your guts, puking on my nuts. This drunken whore is really whack. I looked down to see her last snack had come right back, puking on my sack. I thought I could get a decent Hummer, but dinner on my boner is a bummer.
I think at this point maybe
was gonna say.
Oh man!
I don't know where that came from.
What came from?
That bit.
What do you mean you don't know where it came from? It came from the DCS, where it's always been.
I see.
And the best part of it is I go in the other room, in the tea room, to do a little leaky, and I come back, and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, I thought we played that all the time.
I don't
Well, not anymore, we're not. Well, anyway, we had that long delay thing, so I'm sure we all dumped it, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, no.
I did.
Okay.
No, trust me, we did. Anyway, here's the final poll result. Oh, man. Woo! Exactly. That was not good. Well, I know we have played it, but I guess that was back before all of this Chazarah came down. 1,246 votes, and, of course, there are only really, well, there are three contenders, or four. Barack Obama, which Democrat would you like to see nominated in 2008? Barack Obama, 361. Al Gore, 323. 38-vote lead for Barack. He's the man. Hillary, 132, and John Edwards, 108. I'll tell you, between Hillary and John Edwards, they've got the personality of a dead frog. In fact, even Anna Nicole, at this stage, rotting and decomposing, has got 10 times their personality combined.
Just sports. Blue 89!
Uh-oh.
Blue 89!
Well, you see, we have a technical problem there. My bad.
The authority. Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Shaving your just reduce odor.